session of the day, the afternoon session, and I've got an absolute rock star that is going to kick us off. I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds because I know that people are going to join and it's going to take some time. So just to remind you why we are all here. So we're raising money for two charities. One is Rett syndrome. The other is Angelman syndrome. So we've got Brett Anslow, Paul Yeo, their daughters, Holly and Sophie, have got those conditions, those diseases, disorders. The doctors close to finding a cure. Once they do, that's going to open up the doors to cure lots of other diseases. So I love that we've got just a collective of people that, and coaches, just like phenomenal, incredible people that are trying to make a difference and just all come together just to share their knowledge, experiences, and value. So I am going to stop talking now and I'm going to bring on IBRAHIM. This guy, we caught up a few weeks ago and he absolutely just blew my mind, just absolutely blew my mind with like the conversations that we were having and yeah, what he taught me. So bro, I just want to say a massive, huge thank you to you for giving up your time and yeah, for being part of this as well. So
Yeah.
appreciate you, man.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And well, I got to commend you for an honorable thing that you're doing for everybody around here to raise the fund, raise awareness. It's just amicable. So I take my hat off to you if I had a hat. I know.
Yeah. All right, bro. I am going to leave you to it. I'm going to jump off. I'll come back. We'll see if there's like any questions, if we've got some time for some questions. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So I'll see you in a minute.
Sure. Yeah. This whole process kind of works is that I get into the whole business of business development and helping organizations to expand. The one thing that a lot of organizations to focus on, they know how to be very one-dimensional in their approach, their creativity, their innovation, which is great to be specific and be niche specific, fantastic. But we have to figure out ways how to expand and how to create more dynamic interactions and partnerships with as many people as possible in order for you to expand your company and really and diversify it. Because without this diversification, we don't adapt. And if we don't adapt to the economy and the trend, we end up defecating, which is the concept of entropy, which I'm sure some of you guys heard about. It just tells you that with time, things already decays. And no matter what in thermodynamics, things decays with time. It just happens. So if we don't able to create evolution, to create adaptation, assimilation, we will decay with the process. And when that happens to us, our business will decay, our functionality, our operations will decay, everything will. And that's why a lot of businesses don't last 2 years, if not even 5 years. We continue believing that we're going to rise to a new level. But to be honest, only the 5% does. Everything else doesn't, only the 5%. And for that simple reason, it's because we don't allow ourselves to diversify. What do? We aim, we seek and thrive to aim to become stable. And when you stabilize, your business becomes to demise and it just becomes to where decays from inside. And if you don't create that diversification, it doesn't allow it to really see things outside. So one of the things John Maxwell talks about, the two top things that it allows for leadership and growth is innovation and creativity. If you allow for these two aspects in your business and allows them to sustain, you will really allow it to grow. And when that happens, it allows everyone and everything to grow with the company. Simon Sinek talks about the concept about how we need to start with why. Why is your mission? Why is your value? Why is your principles and core morals? With that, it allows your companies to understand and your team to collaborate with you and join. So when I come in and I work with the company, first thing I ask is that where do you want to be 5 steps from now? 5 steps from now, where do you want to be? So we can reverse engineer. That's 1. 2, I asked, what is your number? What is your number that you want your company to make? What is the number that you're happy to sustain? What is your number? And the third question is, whatever you are doing, are you doubling your profits or your revenues every year? Because if you're not doubling, there's something going wrong and you're not creating different diversification. So I asked them, third question is, are you doubling? And if you're not doubling, where is the areas plateauing? Third, how are you prioritizing your time? People always say to you, in directors or in that big role, you have to prioritize, which is perfectly fine. But you have to figure out the 80-20 rule. So the 80-20 rule talks about how the 80% of your time has to be spent on the 20% of what your business needs in order for it to grow and expand. So without it, you don't allow it to create the trajectory that it needs to grow. So you have to focus on the top 20% of your business, and everything else, and the remaining 80% needs to be able to delegate it, needs to be able to be given somebody else to pursue. Without it, you are wasting your time doing the minute stuff where your time and your valuable time, should I say, it could have been used elsewhere. So when I come into the companies and I talk to them about this stuff, I help them diversify. So what I do, as soon as I go into the companies and I talk to them about the diversification and I ask them all these questions, I conduct a business and a personal audit. Figure out a little bit about the business, where it's heading, where its values, and how everything is aligned. Once that happens, I create a connection and I tell them everything that your company is currently making, anything that I help you make above, I take a chunk of percentages with it. One allows me to create an asset for myself and passive income and a cash flow and sustainability, which is the most important part. But also, two, it allows me to see the growth of the company and people start to attach themselves into the growth or the success. And therefore, I become a valuable um, asset within the company. So I go in there and I present my situation and I tell them what is it that you need to look at. So this is especially, I'm talking here especially for the coaches, the people that want to working with business developments and stuff. If you if your job is to get clients constantly, then you're going to become working in your company, in your business. But if you don't start working on your business, of to grow it, then you're going to continue becoming an employee. And every single customer that you get, they will become your employer because they pay your rent. And if you start thinking this way, you get still thinking as an active employee and looking for active income. As all of us want to retire and grow and really live the lifestyle that we want to live, we have to start thinking like an investor or big business mentality. And the way to do that is create sustainability. So the way I did is that I went out to companies and businesses and I told them, what do you have? I figured out what areas of the gap that they have. How can I close it? And how big of the problem is, because you are always paid in proportionate to the problem that you solve. So I looked into the problem that they have. How can I solve it? And how much? So I charged them anything between 3 grand all the way up to 10 grand a month to help them solve that problem, and then I sustain it by attaining those 5 to 20% shareholders or profit shares. This way, it allows me to sustain a lifestyle that I wouldn't want to live, and then I know what my number is. I realize if I attain or I'm able to get X amount of clientels, I'll be able to make this much money per month, and I'll be able to live the lifestyle that I'm always dreamed of, while ensuring that every business is able to sustain its life and sustain its growth amicably. So these are the steps that I take. And then once you reach that level, once you realize what your number is and you reach that good level that you're looking for, then you hire an operational manager and you hire or a service manager that able to do every single task that you don't want. So you hire a operation manager to do every single task, and you start to focus on only the 20%. And as you continue growing, you start to really only focus on the 4% of what business is looking for and what it desires. Once you do that, once you specifically do that, your business flows, your process flows, your functionality it gets better, and you're able to become extremely productive. So if your business is not able to sell and your business is not able to sustain a lifestyle, it will eventually decay through entropy. So you have to figure out ways to diversify your business in every shape, or way, or form, especially if you're a coach, consultant in that area, and you want to figure out how to leverage a system that's already working. A lot of the top 1%ers, a lot of the top 5%ers, they use this formula all in every business that they've done. Throughout over 300 to 400 books that we've read and articles that were really got involved in the business world, we realized that's what's going on. So instead of us trying to reinvent the wheel, Just figure out how you can leverage what's already in process in order for you to scale your business to the next level. We continue doing the same mundane stuff every day, every day, every day. It's great, but it will only give you the result that you currently have, not the result that you in the result that you're trying to ensue. Without it, you will never be able to live the lifestyle that you dream of living. People say to you, I want to make six figures. Six figures is as lavish as it was back then, maybe 10 years ago. Six-figure coaching or six-figure income is not as great as it is anymore. It's the new minimum wage. So you have to think of ways how you can create 7 to 8 figures at least. You can never retire at 1 million anymore. You need at least 10 million to retire. That's the only way you're going to be able to really live the lifestyle that you're trying to live. So that's the mentality you need to come with, and that's the idea you need to come with. How can you leverage it? So if you're able, so let's break it down. If you are able to make 20K a month per clientele, then that means if you have just 10 clients, you'll be making 200,000 a month, and that gives you over $2 million a year. But that concept allows you to make it as a passive income. While you're still making your retainer, you still be able to double the income and reinvest in yourself and portfolios and shareholders and so on and so forth. But if you're only thinking of how can I serve my clients in one way, then you're going to remain this way. My mentor used to say to me back then, he goes, Jay, you're not just a job, or you're not just a career that you prescribe to be in. You're so much more than just a box that you place yourself in. So I took that concept and I took it to every business. We're not just a coach. We're not just a business woman and a man or woman. We're so much more. So how can we leverage every single technique and strategies that we have or talent that we have in order for us to expand? And with that allows us to develop and move forward. So I created systemizations, I created leadership protocols, leadership questionnaires, business audit, personal audits, also Excel sheets to allow us to feed the incomes. I created all that so that that the business becomes systemized and it starts to run on its own self. And with that, it allows you to see things from a different area and allows you to take your business to the next level. Sabri talks about this concept about how if you don't focus on what your company needs, which is selling, then you will forever be in debt to your company because you're not doing what is necessary to allow your company to grow. So don't think about what your company needs. Think about how can you sell so that your company increases its profitability and you can take that profit and diversify. Hey Brett, how you doing? I hope you're well. We're doing this all for you, my friend. We're doing this for you. I love you too much, brother. So, and this is what needs to happen. Thank you, Paramis. So this is what needs to happen. So if we can do this as a team, and the good thing, and here's the one last concept I want to share with you. If you do this as an individual, you can only go as far as your skills and talent will take you. But if you leverage yourself or connect with the right people, then you can take it. The best example is the platform we're watching this in, which is Facebook. Facebook is worth $500 billion, but yet Mark Zuckerberg is only worth 80. So where is the rest $400 billion going? It's through connectivity. It's because he partnered with many business owners, created a platform where they became a team, and their network became their net worth, and they started to grow as a team. So figure out for yourself who can you connect with right now that shares the same concept, or they can leverage from them and create a win-win relationship so that you can both together create some sort of a sustainability and grow your business to the next level. Without it, again, you'll stay the same. And as if you stay the same, and we talked about it this million times, if you stay the same, your business will die. You need instability, because instability creates challenge, obstacles, diverse, difficult times, and with all of these, it creates a better person because you're starting to think creatively and you start to be innovative in order for you to figure out other ways and problem solve. There's a book called H3, and it talks about how with execution and product and decision making, you create convenience for other people. When you create convenience, you solve a lot of the problems that people did not know that they had, or did not know they how to manage. So if you can create the two, you up it up. And also the final thing as well, there's a book called The CEO Next Door, and it talks about there's four certain behaviors that a human being, that a lot of business, a lot of that a lot of CEOs possess. One of them is being decisive, which means speed and conviction. Speed and conviction is what allows you to move. The next three things are perfectionism, which is all about how to create, how to be due diligent and making sure everything stays in the right. The next one is prudence, which is making sure you work hard, you persevere, you're resilient, you have grit in your life, which is fantastic. And the last thing is all about productivity. How can you be productive in everything that you do? When you combine all of them together, you create the four pillars of success in your business and for your business. So this is the only way it allows you to, again, this is one of the techniques that allows you to expand. Think of the four pillars in your life: your health, your wealth, your relationship, and spirituality. How are they all connected? How are you utilizing them to best for you? And that's where you'll be able to expand so that you can do things more enjoyable in your life and learn how to travel, live life the worst. Thank you. So if you could do that to yourself, you allow yourself to really start to live your life. Last thing, I'll leave you guys with this last thing because I want to start having some Q&As with the rest of you guys if you have any. And the thing is that my mentor said to me, we are born free, but we're made to live. We are born free, but we become enslaved to the role or the job or the business. And if that happens to you, start to forget why you driven yourself to start your business in the first place, which is to create a sense of freedom. So how we become free when we're so subjugated into finding clients and paying the bills and doing all that stuff when it just becomes mundane. So how can you really diversify? How can you learn how to become free again through allowing the business to work for you rather than you working for the business? Figure out how to do that, and you figure out how to move them to the next level. Market your business, figure out, talk about sales, really talk about sales, take your business to the next level. Don't become just one dimensional, diversify, leverage partnerships as much as possible, create connectivity, use that, move into the next level, talk about profit shares, and then boom. The rest is history. We were able to do that within 18 months. We were able to own 11 companies, and we're able to leverage the same principle everywhere we went. And because of that, we're now able to live comfortable as much as possible. But I'm still 4 years away from retiring, and by the time I'm 40, and I'll be able to live wherever we want to live and take the philanthropist lifestyle to the next level, and hopefully create more impact as much as possible for the likes of Paul, for the likes of Brett, for the likes of Dre for welcoming me to his platform, and for the likes of everybody that wants to create a difference in their life, truly create a difference in their life. So I hope this helps you guys, and I hope this kind of creates the value that you're looking for. Dre was going to be my time police, so I wanted to make sure that I stay within the line so I don't screw up his momentum. I wanted to make sure I don't screw up, so I'm giving you guys exactly enough. I hope that helps, man.
Oh, mate, that was absolute fire. That was gold. There was so many things that you said that I was like there was just so much gold in there that I was just trying to take in about I love what you said about the freedom. Because yeah, we're always like, where's the next client coming from? Hustling, 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 hustling. And like the tips about, marketing and like the relationships and leveraging off that. And actually my question for you, Paris has got a question as well. So my question for you is, with the businesses or the people that you deal with and like the four pillars, are there common patterns that you see like all the time?
Yeah, great question. They all have the same common pattern. So you'll realize this, and all of you guys, every single person, and I hope you understand this very well, every single person that you see succeed in life, like let's take a soccer team or a football team, whenever they come to the top, the second year they don't come to the top again. The reason why is they forgot the reason why what drove them in the first place. They forgot the passion, they forgot their values, they forgot the drive. So I always tell them, let's go back to your 14-year-old self. What did the child in you tell you wanted to become? And and the child, the 14-year-old self, always had dreams way bigger than they are currently have now. So why? It's because they were free. They were mentally free and mentally capable to travel. Mentally. So go back to the childhood self and figure out how can you reinvigorate your passion and let that drive you again. So the pattern is that they climb to the top or they reach the level of height that they've dreamed, and then they say, okay, we're comfortable here. Let's just stay. That's the pattern. So I say to you, where's next? We never thought of next because we've only dreamed to be here. So I say to them, okay, let's leverage. And how do we do that? I touch back into their old self. I touch back into to what their talent, their interest, what do they want to become in the future, and what kind of a legacy they want to leave behind. Once you do that, you see them to start to revitalize their thoughts, their principles, their ideas, and then take things to another level, and then start to rise. And after that, after they start rising once, they never stop rising. But you got to figure out what brought you here in the first place. Something drove you to want to become the best. Now figure out how to become the only, not the best anymore. Figure out how you can become the only. And if you could do that, nobody in the world can beat you.
Oh, Jay, that was gold. All right, let's get Paramez's question up here. All right, how can I learn more about profit sharing while being a consultant?
Great question. Great question. So it's easy. Look, every single company, they need your help somehow, some way. So this is how I get it. Before I meet with any company, I profile them. I read everything about them. I learn so much about them before I set up a meeting. Then I reach out to the manager or the CEO and I say, hey, would you mind if I could sit down with you and just pick your brain to figure out how did you leverage your life to the next level so that I can become a student to the game just like you did. The moment they get you inside the door, you start talking to them about the things that you've done in the past that help companies grow. If they're interested in what you have and interested in what you can provide, then they'll ask you, would you be interested to working with us? Once you create the really irresistible offer and really create the attention that they need, then you tell them, listen, everything that you've done from now, from back when till now, I will never touch. That's all yours to keep. But if I work with you and anything I help you grow because of my involvement, I take 20% off. They don't complain because they find it that that's fair. And they know that they have to collaborate with the right like-minded people that allows them to grow their business to the next level. So every single person I ever told them that I want 20%, they never complained because I said, I don't want to touch. If they made $1 million, I will never touch it. But if they made 2 million, that I touched that 1 million growth that I helped them make. So I take 10% to 20% of that 1 million, which means I'm assigned the 200,000, and then I tell them I want the 200,000 monthly, so that becomes my little passive income coming in. But because you hold profit shares of the company, you can forever sit back and let the company run itself. With that, which means the passive income will continue going because every time the company makes 2 million, you're still entitled for that 1 million. Of course. Anytime, Paramus. Yeah. Anytime. How are we doing with time, Mr. Dre? Do you have more for me?
Any final words? So just firstly, any final words? Like
you're more than just what your business can do. There's so much more to you that you can do. Figure out ways to tap into your talent and figure out ways to figure out what else you could do. There is so much more to you. And if you become stable, your business will die. Don't stabilize, remain unstable, because it's exactly what allows you to grow. It's the only way you'll grow. That's my message to the world.
Jay, thank you very much, man. That was just every time I catch up with you, every time there's just so much gold in there. I can't keep up. I'm getting overwhelmed. There's just so much. So I appreciate you so much.
You're too kind.
Appreciate you so much. So yeah, thank you for everything. You enjoy your day and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you guys so much. And we're here in the beach house. We're saying love to you all and enjoy yourself. Love you all.
Yeah. All right. See you, bro. Thanks.
See ya.
All right. So that was Jay Ibrahim. Next up, we have the main man, Finn McKenna. I love this guy. I want to get to know him more on a deeper level. So let me just get rid of this comment. Let's get him out here. Big, massive welcome to my main man, Finn. How are you, legend?
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yeah. It just froze for a bit. I can hear you now, though. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be the internet connection on your side, but that's cool. But you're all good?
Yeah, I'm good. I keep going. Does it?
All right, legend. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave you to it. You do your thing, and then once you're finished, I'll jump back on, and then we'll go through like any questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. All right.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So first of all, and for what he is creating over this weekend, it's so magical to see what you can do when you bring some amazing. So for myself, my name is Finn. I'm a men's empowerment coach, and my mission is to help. And that is something that's so important to me because I know myself, it is completely transformed my whole life and the life of my family. To do that for many other guys that I work with, because in today's world, like there's a lot of people really struggling out there, and as the head of this training is how to remain, things that we can do is to create that inner resilience inside of us to remain grounded, to remain present and be face on the day. So before we get into that, who here, drop in the comments, who here feels day to day as you're going through normal life? Because I guarantee like everyone feels it to some extent. It's like you can't avoid it. Everything is happening now. And there's so much pressure is put on ourselves, comparing ourselves to everything that's around on social media and everything that's expected of us to fit into the society. It causes a lot of this internal overwhelm and this internal stress, and that can have a massive rippling effect on so much of others. So as we look at that, as we see how that has that roll-on effect, it's like that's what we're working on, so we can remain grounded while all these moving parts is happening around us. And especially in the lockdowns and all of this stuff, there's so much things outside of our control. So this is where we control within inside of ourselves. Because when we get that control internally, no matter what's going on next. So to kind of give you like an example of where this comes in so important is challenging 12 months I've faced in probably ever. It's like our son was born on the middle of June last, over a year ago, and the week after he was with cancer. And it was such a contrast. I've got two daughters here before son was born, and then my father was died. That just threw my whole world upside down with everything that was going on. I was here, I was focused in be the father figure for my family, while all I wanted to do was be back home in Ireland with my father. The situation that we were in, so much of our roots here in Australia, plus with everything that was happening in the pandemic, I wasn't even able to go home if I wanted to. So that took a lot away from me. It just made me feel really unsettled as I was navigating through this, as well as all of these other real life things that was happening. At the end of the day, it's like I was a provider for my family here. As I started to really nourish while my wife was really in that bubble, looking after her newborn, plus running clients, all of these things were all of these external pressures and stresses that was put on today. Like through all of that, I needed to remain grounded to navigate all of that, to be able to show up for the people around me and that was going on. And not only was that one of the big things that I was dealing with, we decided to move house not just once but twice in them 12 months. And the second time we moved, we actually like relocated. And like all of these things were massive big upheavals, massive big stressors in our day-to-day life, to navigate all of them and what I needed for myself and be able to move through and hold myself through that allowed all of this. One of the things that I've learned from this whole experience and that I've been constantly seeing and growing and helping within my clients is no matter what life feels, the right things that you use to keep you grounded, keep you present and keep you regulated within your nervous system, you're going to be deep. Because the thing is, as we do this growth work on ourselves, as we start working through our trauma, as we start patterns and behaviors and start really cleaning out the closet of a lot of that stuff, you don't just magically get to a point in your life where it's a never-ending journey that you get to go on, but it's you have the tools within you to. And this is one of the things pandemic shows us is like all of these things are going to come up and you're going to either fall down or you're going to rise above them and move through them in a calm, grounded space. Often so much more belief trains within inside of yourself and the type of person that you are and how you choose to show up with this. As we start delving deep into this work, as we start delving deep into understanding who we are within inside of ourselves and what our fun is stuff so much better and equip us with the tools that we need to in today's session is to teaching you the tools and teaching you a framework that you can start using for yourself on a day-to-day basis to show it to you. So as we go into this, this is one of the core principles that I teach to medicine pouch. So when you think of medicine pouch, it's like it's this magic little pouch that you cherish you and honor you and really cherish all aspects of yourself. So when it is like we can pull out whenever we need that. So when we're faced with the stress, whenever we're faced with trigger, whenever something's coming up that's challenging us, we have to help us move through that, rather than allow ourselves to be completely sideswiped, falling into our own clutches and our own patterns, and then after a few days feeling like crap, then you slowly start pulling yourself back. This is starting to take more of a proactive approach, and so you are actually learning how to control and manage yourself and manage your emotions. Again, as you do that, that's going to give you so much more power moving forward. So when we think of working on navigate and manage stress, the first thing most people start focusing on is the meditation. So like having a big 20-30 minutes, being able to go through this beautiful guided meditation. All the things that we reach for in the chat box, but all the big ones are or exercise that we consciously choose to do that's going to be really nourishing. That's going to help relieve a lot of what we've been feeling and just allow us to come back to our body. Some of the other things that we might put into this space is looking at things like catching up, putting on a show or Netflix, or something that's going to be more just relaxing and just allowing yourself to have that to be experiencing on your day to day. But when we look at that, what people focus on as being their stress relief. Am I right? Like, you need to have at least 30 minutes because that's going to help you feel calm and help you move through all of your day-to-day stressors. First, and again, this is where so many people get caught in that trap of living for the weekend. It's like, oh, I'll just come the weekend and have a bit more time to be able to carve out and do these things for myself. Allowing me to release them and not get caught in this vicious cycle of you're just wishing away half of your week to try to know about you. But for me, that's not how I choose to live. I want to be able to show up as my best self each and every day. Is looking and building them things that we do that's going to be nourishing for ourselves to take maybe 30 minutes plus. It's a part of what we want to focus on. The next one that we want to focus on is this is the things that take maybe 5 to 15 minutes, chunks of things that we can do for ourselves on a day-to-day basis that doesn't take a big chunk of time, but it's still going to allow us to really do a 30-minute meditation. It might be more achievable for yourself to do a 10-minute meditation. And we're looking at what it is, what I can do in that kind of 5 to 15-minute window. There's going to be the things that's going to help relieve that stress. Exercise and tools that you put into your own specific medicine pouch. So one of the things that you might put in with that 5 to 15 certain songs that you like to play, that you just put on a couple of songs and a dance list, and that allows you just, it might lock it in time and do a guided meditation, guided breath work session. It's going to be, again, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Just going out and just having a cup of tea outside, away from technology. Where again, it allows you to today, but allows you to come in and just having that time and space for yourself just to breathe. But again, it's something that's more achievable for you. So as you go through this, as you're starting to look at this, I want you to start creating that list in your mind yourself of what to be able to fit into these different slots. So again, at this stage, we should have them come days or once or twice a week. Then we're coming through here. About 5 to 15-minute window. There are the things that everyone has 10, 15 minutes. It might be like your morning practice. It might be like your evening practice. It might be at lunchtime you do certain things. That feels for you. And that's going to be so much more achievable. And as you're doing that, and then top yourself up that little bit. Top yourself up that little bit. Top yourself up that little bit. Removing that bit. And then the one that most people forget about, and most people aren't aware of, is what is most the ones for not to 60 seconds. So what are the tools, what are the continuous for yourself that take minimal time at all. Just go to a live basis. This is where the proactivity comes into place. Where you're being proactive rather than reactive. This bottom really on top of things in that proactive space. And again, how did that look? What's the sort of things that we can bring into place in that, not like in a minute? What can you do for a minute that's going to help release? So if you think of stuff, type some stuff into the chat box. Write some stuff down as you're listening back to this. But for me, some of the most important things, awareness, having a physical check-in with yourself. No matter what you're doing, just ask yourself, how am I? Like as you do that, noise, and just allow yourself to just ask how. Ask yourself that. That's going to tell you what's going on inside of you. So if you can start bringing that in, then you're constantly just, how am I feeling right now? How am I feeling right now? Is there anything that I need? Ask to break that cycle that you go on. Because again, when you don't have these small, this is where everything just builds and builds and builds. It's like you might wake up a little bit late. It's like because you're running around the place, it's like you're getting your breakfast ready on the go, and as you go, and then you're frustrated with that. And then because you're in a bit of a rush, you drive into work. And then perhaps cause more of this angst, more of this frustration, more of this overwhelm inside of you. Because you're just still in the busyness. Emails, you're like, something pops up in your email that you were meant to do yesterday. And because you're already feeling really frustrated and angst towards yourself. And it builds and builds and builds. Like in this go, go, go mentality, you don't have a moment to yourself to stop and check in with yourself. And instead of being able to pause, you get reactive with them and you react out in a way to them that's not you. I mean, like your kid asks you for something and you get reactive towards them. And this is where so many people live, constant go, go, go mentality with that, because we're not taking these small check-ins. You're just hoping, it's like, oh, tonight when I get home, we go to an exercise class, and that's going to blow off the steam of this crappy day. So you've got to allow yourself that's going to fix things. Whereas you're missing out on some of the most important things that you can do that's going to stop it then and there and into place, that's going to start bringing more these check-ins for yourself, is going to be really powerful. And for some, as you're going to be something different. Like you might literally physically set up my clients do it on a regular basis. It's like set a number of different alarms to go off throughout your day, and when it's off, it says in a question that asked them is like, how are you feeling? What do you need? And as that alarm comes up, that allows yourself to go inwards for a moment. Again, you can do this anywhere. It doesn't take a lot of time, it just go in. And then as you go deeper with that, it's like some the practices that it's going to help you just move through some of the stuff that's going on for yourself. Like this is where breath is so important. Let's do that here together right now. And just putting your hand on your chest and out. And slowing your breath, lower hand. And as you breathe out, go for a really long, deep exhale. Big breath in through your nose, into your lower ribs, expanding out. And as you're breathing out, and one more breath in. And one more breath out. Again, just check in with yourself right now. How do you feel? Guarantee you feel calmer. You feel now just 4 breaths. Just have a moment to check in. And a moment just to go inwards with your breath. It's not a half an hour breathwork practice or meditation practice. This is something that you can do at your desk. It's something that you can do in the car. And the kids are going off and everything's going crazy. And you just take a moment just to breathe and connect. And just quiet some of that stress and tension for yourself. And if you can start doing this and continue, can you imagine how that's going to have such a ripple effect in everything else throughout your day? It's a 60-second check-in. It's like, yeah, it's like having breath, having that physical check-in. It's that taking a moment to just look outside the window. Like if you're at work, just look outside, get away from the complete nature, just a leaf blowing on the tree. If there's a bird flapping around, just watching them for 30 seconds, just to appreciate the simple things. It could be the matter of bringing yourself outside for a walk and getting your feeling in the corporate high rises in the city. If I didn't do this in a continuous throughout the day, when I was going out on errands, like I knew exactly where the closest patch of grass was. I knew exactly where the closest tree was, and just give a moment just to see the tree, just touch the tree, just allow myself just to connect back into nature. Of the electronic, the business of the concrete jungle. If you start bringing these things into day to day, you change how you're showing up and how you're feeling within yourself. And then the beauty of it is when you speak throughout the day, and then when your lunch break, you might give yourself a 10-minute meditation thrown in on top of it. When you come home around with the kids, again, starting to release some of that stress. Allowing yourself to get into your body, allowing yourself to listen to, and then you might have a meditation and some journaling before you go to bed. And you're kicking off what you're doing. Guaranteed when your head hits the pillow, you're going to be falling asleep so much more relaxed, so much more peace, and so much more grounded and connected with yourself. You're just in that autopilot, just go, go, go mentality. And you see the beauty of this is it's not anything you manage your whole life or have like the 2.5 hour or perfect morning ritual. It's not real. It's like if you can have a massive morning ritual, fair play, it's too much of a struggle. Whereas if we can have the little check-ins, have them a little bit more of a check-in when we have that time and space, that's going to allow us to move through everything so much easier. And when we look at it through this way, it's like you can't pour from an empty cup. And sadly, most people keep pouring back into a cup with these big things. What's the things that brings me so much joy? It's going to pour a whole heap back into that cup, and then at the end of the day, you contemplate it, and you're just in that cycle wondering why is never getting easier, why things always you continuously just put little drops in, stuff is going out, little drops going in, stuff is going out, little drops going, then you put in more, and then you're holding that so much better. With this, and then when you get them big things, them big things are poured into that cup that's already really full, and just allowing that to overflow to everyone else, changing the game for yourself and changing the game of how you are showing up for those around you. So with it's like this is where I really invite you to look into your medicine pouch and draw all the things that you can do. That's going to be 30 minutes plus. It's going to be really nourishing for you. Write down be nourishing for you, and then write down as many different things that are just them small, short for you. And as you look at that, as you start looking at how you can filter that into your day-to-day. Set some alarms to remind you to trigger you to put these different things into your day-to-day. It could even be as simple as attaching one to things that have probably like list read Atomic Habits, and one of the easiest way of building a new habit is a habit. So look at the things that are already habitual for yourself, and where you just tie something small and simple onto that. Start ingraining that into your system, so you just start doing it more automatic over time. And as you do, that is just going to. And if you want to supercharge this to so many other layers where you can go into with it, but to supercharge this, you can piece them. If you know that there's certain stressors that are for yourself, tie in somebody. When you get stressed, you know you get stressed when you're doing X, Y, Z. So whenever that happens, this would be something that's going to be really good. And as you do that, it's going to be a game changer. And the more you do that, the more you build that, the more you're creating that in that chaos in the crazy world that we live in. So if anybody has any thoughts, if anyone has any questions, well, or even reach out if you're watching this back in the room. But I'd love to hear what you need to know.
Hey Finn, that was awesome, man. Absolutely awesome. I was there like doing the breath with the, and I think for me there was a little bit of a delay on your side, so it was a little bit glitchy. So I wasn't able to get everything that you were saying, but what I did get, I loved it. Question for you: when the grounded masculine, is that similar to like the divine masculine? Is that like
beautiful question? Yeah, like it's the grounded masculine for me is it's bringing things back really in like the divine masculine. For me personally, of divine divinity, it's like that holy grail with it, where the grounded is bringing things to day-to-day struggles. Because like with the guys that I work with are the guys that are in the trenches, dead basis. So it's like bringing in like what we spoke into today, how you can bring them in and make them relatable to where you are.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. All right, if guys and girls, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat now, or forever hold your peace. And what's the best way for people to get hold of you, Finn?
Best way is to connect in with myself on Facebook, _grounded_masculine.
All right, legend. And do you have any like workshops, challenges, seminars, anything like coming up that people can jump on?
Quite often run 5-day challenges, as well as I do men's circles, so virtual men's circles every being able to connect with other men and be able to share and connect and learn these different principles and some of the struggles they're facing.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'm definitely going to hit you up about that. That would be good. Yeah. All right, there's a bit of a delay. So like Finn, I just want to say a massive, huge thank you for you to like come on, just share like your value and yeah, giving up your time, man, as well to like, yeah, to give back. So I absolutely appreciate you. It's been awesome. And yeah. All right, we need to catch up, definitely need to catch up. So yeah. All right, legend.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see
So yeah.
you, mate. All right, so that was a little bit glitchy. All right, so next up we've got Sylvia. Okay, just bear with me a second. So I'm just going to put myself on mute. Right, I'm going to play this video. There isn't any sound because I haven't sorted it out yet, but this is... Man, how beautiful is Holly and yeah, Brett's family. So I'll make sure next time that I play that, we will get some volume. All right, we have Sylvia Silvers in the house. I could see her before, can't see her now. So let's give a warm welcome to Sylvia. So Sylvia is a relationship and a sex and intimacy coach. And we had a podcast, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, and just an amazing woman with an amazing journey, amazing human. So, all right, let's get Sylvia out here. All right, so Sylvia's just going to restart her camera. All right, while that's taking place. All right, guys, so while we are all here, so we're raising money for Rett syndrome and Angelman syndrome, and something that I'm just really proud of is how we've had like almost 100 coaches that have all come together to raise money, but to also like share value. Like there's so many experts, so many There's so much skill, there's so much knowledge, and I love the way that everyone's broken everything down into simple steps that we can all follow. All right, Sylvia, it is your time to shine. Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
Yes, thank you so much. The tech issue, suddenly like the camera's gone. So yeah, today in order to be together with the other 100 coaches here,
Yeah.
I wanna share my knowledge about the sex and intimacy. And today's topic is about the how to get out of sexless marriage, and is that possible, and to bring back all that juiciness into your relationship.
Okay, all right, I'm going to leave you to it, so I can't wait.
Yes. Thank you, Dre. So yes, I'm Sylvia Silvers. Yeah, I'm a sex and intimacy coach, and today I want to share what is it like sexless marriage. Like, what do you call sexless in marriage life or in relationship? So sadly, some research they said one third of the couple who's living together or in marriage in 2 years time, one third have sexless marriage. What is sexless marriage? Is when the couple have no interest in the sex activity at all. And for some, it could be healthy if both of them are okay with, without sex in their life, then no problem there. But problem occurs when one of the couple, one of the, either lady or the man, wishing to have more sex. So sexless marriage in my practice. So I've been doing this since 2016 for myself and also the practice for other ladies. I've seen in the Tantra journey as well that sexless marriage could be when you have poor quality sex. What does it mean, poor quality sex? When women feel that sex is only to please their husband, sex is for the man, and then they do that what I call that starfish. Yeah, just do that for the sake of doing that. Don't feel happy, you know, done and that's it, and also feel like sex is hurt or hurt while doing that or hurt after doing that, which is the emotion, feeling that they don't have that emotional intimacy with their man. And without knowing that how to address that, usually they become more easily to become angry, irritated, depressed, and then started to have the anxiety. And then the man said, "I've given you everything," but then given up because seems like this lady is hard to please. And couple started to grow apart, become more and more as a roommate, not a lover anymore, but more best friend or more a parent. And this is what I call sexless marriage. Even if you can have sex, let's say once in 2 days, but if women still feel like you're faking it, you feel hurt, you don't like it, but you just do it for your man, I call this also sexless marriage. And think about it, if you're doing sex just because you want to please your man, and how about if both of you not having any sexual interaction more than 3 days, in weeks, months, even years? So of course, if you're longing for the emotional intimacy, that connection, that great communication, it will be so hard to have that in the level of healthy relationship. So how can we save the sexless marriage? Is it possible? Yes, 100% it's possible when one of you are willing to do something. Yeah? For right now, I'm working with the women, which is I guide women to be that neck, the stronger neck in your healthy relationship. So sexless marriage, sexless relationship is just like when you go to Austria, in the winter time, right? I love to be in Austria in the winter time, staying in the ski resort, but you don't ski. So this is sexless marriage. And then if you stay here, right now, I'm here in Bali having a private pool in the villa, but you don't swim. That's sexless marriage. That's how does it mean, like, to have that relationship but no connection. Sex in the healthy relationship, sex in the marriage life is not taboo because it comes from love. You want to do that because you love each other, you admire each other, right? It's not because only for doing it for other person. So for men, usually the reason why they don't feel like having sex, so sad, so sad. I've heard this so much during my tantra practice as well, is the, how can I say this, ignorance of the bad jokes sometimes comes from the friends during the in the locker room, or friends, or even the doctors, right? Usually affected the teenage boy, and then they mention about, they joke bad jokes about the penis is too small. So they grow up believe that they can't please their woman, and then they shut down, and then feel like, I just don't want sex because I can't. So men, if you are listening right now, it's possible. Great sex, great communication connection comes from the great sex in the relationship, healthy relationship. It's not about the size. Okay? And then the other thing that I've seen so much is about the health issue. It's like early ejaculation, and also the erectile dysfunction. This is also another issue to have a great sex life, to bring back the juiciness into your relationship. It's possible. Okay, but when you are starting to feel like you marry a great woman. She used to be fun, spontaneous, happy, but now she become irritated, always like angry, having this anxiety, depressed, crying often. Like, what's wrong? It's also possible. Huh? It's also possible. So for women, if you have the feeling that I need that emotional connection with my husband, with my man first, then I want to have sex. Of course, this is from my tantra perspective, right? It's the spiritual tantric traditional. The plus for women to wanting sex is here, their heart. That's why men, make them feel so that you are so in love with them, that you need them, that you admire, adore your woman, whatever it is. Do that because that matters for them. If you want more sex from them, right? Thinking about when you have sex with your woman, about pleasing them first. Make them feel. And that's how you will get out from this sexless marriage. And for women, when you feel like you don't have that emotional connection, you want that communication, and then but you keep punishing your men because they don't give you what you need, and what you keep telling them that I need this, and then somehow they just don't get it. Don't take it for granted that I punish them. Later, maybe they will find out that they don't have sex because they can't please me. And I've seen too much, and it's so sad that it become a habit. It become a habit until the lady said, Sylvia, I just feel like I can live my life for the rest of my life without sex. And when will you realize? When it's too late. You are in your female body, in your female feminine energy for the reason. Whatever society said that men wants more sex than women, during my Reconnect journey, I just finished today, my Reconnect journey, 5 days Reconnect journey, I share why it is very important for you ladies to have that feeling, to feel the pleasure. Because your female body needs it. Yes, whatever it is in your head, when you have that healthy relationship, great sex, then you start to know that you become that very, very kind, very good person. No more negativity, no more room for negativity. Like you're just so in love, so kind. Even kids screaming here and there, throwing toys, you can just say, they're just kids. That's come from the great sex. Because what? Sex for men is their plus. To have that, be able to give you that emotional intimacy is to play, to win, is to win your healthy relationship before it's over through the sex. And come and join me if you really have stuck. Come and join me. It's free, 5 days Reconnect journey, and I'll share with you so much of my knowledge, like how to start slowly, how to build that sex tension. That's how I call it, sex tension. The flirting, the tease, your man tease yourself to have that admiration again into your life without feeling awkward, without feeling cheesy. Because you will be doing that for yourself. So, ladies, again, if you feel that you're growing apart, I have one story that I love to share with my clients. I ask her for this to share her story on and on. She's okay with that. The oldest lady in my program is a 63 years old lady, and almost 17 years in sexless marriage. 17 years. Can you imagine that? 17 years. Yeah, it's too much. Very painful. Got the story that husband didn't want it because feeling that penis is too small. I feel so sad about that if I keep hearing this story. Because it's not about the size. Again, it's not about the size. And then what? She started to shut down, always angry, always frustrated, and have that depression. And then not only that, she didn't realize that she affected her daughter. So her daughter, by that time when she come and join me, was 36 years old, beautiful, beautiful young lady, but somehow can't express her love, can't receive love. So when mommy did the work, having that eye-opening about everything, about her body, about understanding her man, her husband more, herself more, what is it that missing, what is it that she really, really want. The daughter started to open up, sharing her trauma, and then doing the work for herself, and then what? Now having a very healthy relationship. So don't take it for granted. You may think that you didn't affect your children. Maybe it's only you, and maybe it's okay because nobody knows anyway. Think again. Because it's not only about sex. It's not only about you. It's not only about your husband. It's about your next generation. Don't play with the time. I know how does it feel losing someone that you really, really love. Then I have that eye-opening that time. Never compromise, right? When you feel like, please give me 1 more hour, even 5 more minutes, no more. It's done. Well, right now you still stay in the same roof with your man, with your husband. This is the best time. Don't wait until one of you, the ladies already leave the house, the men already leave the house, then you want to start looking for the answer. So I will guide you if you need some help inside my Reconnect journey, 5 days for free. Dre, do we have some question and answer? I think like I'm preparing for 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, right, Sylvia, that was absolute fire. I was a little bit hot, so I love the way I love the way that you. It's not. I love the way that you. Because for some people it would be hard to talk about like sex and intimacy and things like that, but you're just so open about it and vulnerable. So I absolutely love that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, don't be shy. Now is the time to ask. And I was trying to think if I've got any questions for myself, because I'm a single guy and it's my birthday on Sunday. Just
happy birthday, Dre.
About that.
So much for the coaches, like sharing our mission, sharing our words outside, like together. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for like agreeing to do this and coming on and sharing and I'm so grateful, just so grateful. All right, so what would be some of the common?
Someone's asking you, like, how long have you been single?
They have. It's anonymous Facebook user. Probably, I think maybe 3 months, 3 or 4 months. So
yeah. Oh, advance. Okay, your birthday in Sunday, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's on Sunday. All right. Anyway, this is not about me. This is about you guys. To get carried away. Right. So Sylvia, you look after like clients all over the world. Is that right? You've got clients all over the world?
Yes, all over the world. Before I'm helping the only locals because we don't do virtually, right? Tantra, it's like local live, and right now I'm doing it virtually. And if no one is asking question, maybe
No. I don't know. I think they might be shy because it might be the topic.
Yes, right.
But is it? No, I'm sorry. After you. What?
No.
What would be?
Because for me, in the past, like I took the certification for the sex techniques and everything, orgasm.
What?
It's only for myself. Yes, for myself, because I almost lost my marriage. I was growing apart as a lover to my husband. We were just more and more like business partner. Right? So I took it for myself. And then, I never think about, I will talk like this freely about sex and intimacy. International people, such a taboo thing. But I see that it's important. Like the more I share, the more I can help the ladies, the men to open their eyes. Because to be honest, Ray, the research that I've seen also so many times that 80% of the divorce is because of the unnecessary reason. You could prevent that. It's just so sad. Yeah. So quiet.
So I'm not logged on. So just listen. Sex is important.
Yes.
Yeah, it is important.
It is essential to have a healthy relationship. It's essential. Sex is essential if you want emotional intimacy.
Yeah. Right, so how so how often do you reckon, say, like couples should be like having sex? Would it be like every day? Would it be, maybe 2 or 3 times a week? Maybe once every couple of weeks?
It depends. Like every couple, they know themselves, right? Which one is like okay, enough for them? Which one is like not enough? Like that's why they need to have that open communication, and that's how I guide the ladies if they come with couple, like the couple, to have that what I call conscious communication, to get to know, like no pretending, because your vision is to have healthy relationship. Like if you want more sex, then you address that. How can your husband or your man enjoy that every day or even 3 times a day sex? Because sex is so much more, so many ways of doing sex. It's not only what you see in the porn or in the magazine or whatever. A lot of ways, a lot of techniques.
Yeah. So you actually went to get a certificate for like sex techniques, and
Yes, like
that's
learning about
crazy.
orgasm. It's since 2016, 2018. But again, I didn't think about doing it for coaching. So I keep looking for my certification. Soon I'm going to move. Hopefully I can find that. And but 2021, last year, I went back again to see it in the perspective of how can I be different, and then what is it that I value, and then I want to deliver to my clients. Yeah. So I see like Jules have question there.
Jules, all right, let's bring Jules up. All right. How important is sexual intimacy compared to, oh, Jules, what a question to emotional
Yes.
intimacy.
Wow, Jules, such a high quality question. Yeah. So, well, Jules, it depends when you ask things like this, right? Who you wanna, because you are a girl, right? You're a ladies. You're a lady. So for you, for a lady, emotional intimacy is the most important because that's what makes them wanting sex. But for the man, because men in his masculine energy, they don't really care about the emotion, they don't care about like assumption, things like this. So for them, physical intimacy, the sexual connection is more important. And then again, about the sexual sensual thing, like there is a lot of thing that you have to understand the type. Like some people, they're so afraid to show the real them in their relationship because probably my partner will feel that I'm weird or strange by wanting some things. But knowing that no one is broken, understand you better what is it that you really want, it's very important. Yeah.
So just you're saying just communicate what you want in the bedroom, just like this is how I like it, this is what I'd like you to do, this is what I.
Yes, it's we do it like before the bathroom. So we have the appetizer, we have the main course, then we have those cherry on top.
Oh, a bit of dessert. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes.
All right. Sylvia, what's the best way for people to get hold of you?
Yeah, right now I'm very, very active in my Facebook. Yeah, thanks to our coach, right? Richmond. Point one. Very active in Facebook. Just connect with me like through Facebook. If you think like, you know, you want to get to know better, just come, level up your knowledge. It's a free 5 days reconnect journey is every month. I just wrap up today, my July one, but you can come in August. Don't have to pay anything. It's free. I just want to serve, like share my knowledge. And Facebook is the best way.
Okay, and that's just for women, isn't it? So it's a challenge just for women.
For now. For now, I know like some men's asking, but men, bring your woman to the challenge. Like for now, only for ladies.
Yeah. All right, Sylvia, I just want to say a massive, huge thank you to you, for all the support today, but also leading up to the event, because you're like, Dre, what can I do? And like you were just like there with like ideas, and because I was
Yes.
worried at the start of the week whether I'd be able to get to 100 coaches and everybody working together like we've done it. So I want to say a massive thank you to you, like the value and just being so like open and talking about this. You know, some might see it as a taboo topic. So you are absolutely amazing and I love you to bits.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much once again. Thank you so much, Jules. Thank you, everyone. See you.
All right, see ya. All right, so that was Sylvia Silvers. And then next up, we've got my main man, Patrick. FARNAN. Let's get him out here. I can see he's raring and ready to go. Patty is here. How are you, bro? Oh, your mic.
Are we there? Are we live?
Oh.
Yeah. There we go. Perfect. This could have been awkward. You could have been standing there. Could have been doing charades for the next half an hour. Oh, damn. That would have been, what a great like follow on from Sylvia. Like just charades for the next half hour. That could have gone anywhere. That could have gone really anywhere.
Oh, mate. I just want to say, thank you for, agreeing to do this, to help out, to contribute in like every way. It's just warms my heart. And like this morning, what we got now, afternoon, oh man, the day's gone quick. Just, it's been absolutely incredible. So, are you happy for me to leave you do it? I'll leave and then.
Yeah, mate, I'll leave and then we can have a bit of a chat. We can come back. We'll figure it out as we go, because like we can give so much value to these guys in terms of what it takes and to go forward. So yeah, mate, we'll see how we go.
All right, I'll see you.
See you in a bit, mate. I'm Patrick. I'm a performance consultant. If you haven't seen me online or on Facebook or any of the socials before, effectively my background comes from like a high performance environment. In construction, in the ability where you've got to get the job done. There's big hours, 50+ hour weeks continuously, and there's often night shifts, weekends, and like 10 hours a day. Yeah, always go far. Appreciate that, Paul. And it's like this really high stress environment, high outcome environment. There's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of ability to perform. And so it's kind of coupled with that, plus done a lot of like endurance events, a lot of long-term events that go for, 10, 12, 24 hours. So like the testament to Dre and what he's doing here, going back to back to back over the next 3 days, even though it's his birthday on Sunday, he's going to be wrapping this up. Like to go back to back and have the energy and the excitement to go far is an important thing. And so how does that relate to your business? Is that business, what I've learned over the last couple of years and what I've seen working in significant big companies, some of the biggest projects in Melbourne, such as like Westgate Tunnel, such as the Monash Freeway upgrade, number of level crossings, is the idea that there's about like an 80% mindset and there's about a 20% strategy. And quite often people focus on the strategy. If the strategy is not working, then we'll just change the strategy. And they don't necessarily look into the mindset aspect of things. And so it's a coupling aspect, because quite often people don't have the knowledge. They don't have the understanding of what's the actual right strategy. How can they perform better? What do they need to put in place in order to move themselves forward? And so getting that knowledge and that idea and that understanding is usually what some people find is the thing that takes them to the next level. And so if you've got the right strategy, you've got the right things in place, it allows you to go further. But where the real kind of key comes in is, how do you actually think about things? How do you question what your current procedures and roles are and the structures and strategies that you have in place to get the actual outcome that you want? Quite often, there was a time when I was in construction and you've got to get the job done. I think it's just like this construction perspective, or it might be in every single business, but there was like a thing where you can never just quite leave a job. Like you always kind of realize that at some point it would always finish. Like it would always get done. Like, not sure if anyone else has seen any like half completed like projects around their time or not. But quite often the projects will get done, no matter how much money, no matter how much time, they'll always get across the line. And so this is on $1 million, $1 billion jobs all across Melbourne. I dare say it's exactly the same all across the world, because you can't just have like a half-built bridge or a half-built tunnel or like a half-built freeway, because people go through like a lot of pain in that process. And so what I do as a performance coach is like pull it apart, like almost like reverse engineer the outcome, because you got to like start with the end in mind, as the old-fashioned 7 Habits book. If you don't know it, it's probably one of like the top 5 most read books by any entrepreneur, any personal development junkie in the world. And so what is that outcome that you want, and how do you reverse engineer that to get the time, to get the money that you want in your business. And it's all about like how you think about it, how you process it is the key aspect. And what I found was that there was always like a big pressure in construction. There was an idea where there was little overheads, little room for margin, but so many different problems that we have, so many problems that we had to deal with on a daily basis, like standards, environment, sustainability, safety, actually managing people, timeframes, program, money. Is it going well? Is it not? Like work packs, procedures. Like I could go on with the list of things that we had to do just to get that job across the line. And so I was actually chatting to a friend earlier today, and something really kind of stood out to me. I just kind of said an offhand comment of like something to the lines of, life's too simple to be complicated. Life's too simple to be complicated. And so one of the things I was reading like an Alex Hormozi book, and that one of the things that stood out to me was this idea that a lot of smart people, a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in a problem because they really enjoy solving impossible problems. Like, not sure if you're watching at home or if you're somewhere else tuning in on the replay, but quite often there's this idea of we want to find this really hard, really challenging problem, something that we're almost like struggling to solve, struggling to actually get an outcome for. But quite often our smartness, our knowledge, our ego gets in the way of actually getting the job done. Like, it's a lot simpler process than what we think, because we want to make things complicated. We want to make things harder. We want to make things challenging. One of the things that we often fight is boredom. Like, how do you fight boredom? How do you fight the day of like, if I have nothing to do? That's often why people become so busy. So what I come and do is help pull apart the systems, the structures, and change some of the thinking that the systems have and attach to that, and create outcomes as a result. As part of that, it's a procedure where it's like a very collaborative approach, where I want to work with people that, you know, are almost like friends, like people that you connect with and you can build friendships and relationships with. Because one thing I kind of realized on my journey, in when you do all the work alone, not sure if you can relate to spending hours getting up early before work, spending all day in the office, you know, working away, working hard, getting to the end of the day, knock off time, and then you realize that you have to keep working just to get the job done, to just get yourself pushing forward, and you're pushing yourself out the door. And you spend so much time in these places that it becomes so lonely, so quiet along your own. And so I had that, and I was pushing so hard in work, and then in the endurance space, where I was pushing so hard in the mornings, even before work, after work, to try and get things done and achieve these great results and these great successes, which, can't deny, were amazing. Some of the greatest memories I've had is finishing and crossing the line of an Ironman, finishing and crossing the line of a 24-hour race. But the thing is that you realize on that journey, or at least it took me a while to realize in there, was the idea that if you go on that journey alone, it can be quite isolating. It can be quite quiet. It can be quite like almost set off from the real world. It's what business owners and entrepreneurs face, is that they don't have someone in their corner. They don't have someone on their team to just kind of go through the process with. It's one thing that sports are so good at. Like in the NBA, there's always a Michael Jordan and a Pippen. There's like Kobe and Shaq. There's always like a dynamic duo that you have. Even in cycling, one of the almost like individual sports, they've got a team involved. Even from the spaces where they've got consultants, from coaches coming in, always like wanting to have like this team atmosphere. Because as soon as you go alone, you're alone out there, it's a hard slog, especially when you're trying to build a business, when you're trying to help everyone else achieve their goals. And so that's what I realized on my journey, was that a lot of people want to create success, but they don't realize what it's like to kind of be on your own, like how hard it is and the slog that it is. So quite often as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, we try to make things harder than what they need to be. We make problems more difficult as opposed to trying to make them simpler, more effective, more efficient strategies. And that's the one thing that I kind of realized in my old job is that we didn't really do. You do the job, you make the mistakes, you don't hit where you want to, and you just kind of repeat the cycle. You're not actually trying to learn, you're not trying to create effective strategies on the next project, because it's more about getting it done as opposed to how can we improve the way that we get things done. And that's the thing that holds almost construction back right now. And so what I kind of realized is that if I can work with small business owners that want to create the success, there's like a simple process and procedures. You got to get clients, you got to get leads, then you got to be able to find a product that they want to buy, and then you want to fulfill that. Like, you want to work with them for a long period of time. Some of the best businesses in the world are long-standing businesses that have a continual return rate. Like, not sure here, whoever's been to like a cafe or a coffee shop, like a Starbucks or a Macca's or a gym, like, it's one of those things that people always seem to want to go back to. It's not just like a one-off buy. It's not just a one-off purchase. There always seems to be multiple reasons why you keep going back. And so what you want to do is, like, for me, business is about relationships, creating success for both people in that role, and seeing how far you can go together, seeing what you can push. You can create that relationship and that environment in, because it's a lonely journey sometimes. Sometimes you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the time in the world, but if you don't have the right people around you on that journey, it becomes pretty lonely, pretty unenjoyable. That's one thing I've realized with people that I work with, my clients, that just getting their results, seeing their face when they get the wins, when they get the success that they want moving forward, it just kind of makes you smile a lot inside, because I was looking for that internal smile from all the external races, from all the external success in working for someone else, in, you know, working a job, working 50-hour days, slogging hard, but actually not realizing that you had anything to come back to, not having the people around you in your corner just to enjoy the wins with, to enjoy the success with. And that's what it kind of comes back to, is that business is about, relationships. Talk about the eighth wonder. I remember way back when, like, who's ever had like a piece of advice from like your parents when you're a kid and you're like, oh, terrible advice, don't need that now. It's a waste of time. It's probably not super relevant. And it might just be a parent thing, or it might be just a young thing. Yeah. And you go, it's not really relevant. It's not really, effective. And you're like, my dad would always go, like, make sure you stay in contact with the people that you connect with at school. Make sure you stay in contact with the people at university. Make sure you stay in, build your network, build up your people to connect with. And being like a shy, introverted guy, I was like, that's the last of my problems. Don't need to work with anyone. I'll just make it on my own. I'll just do it. But every single business in the world, whether you realize it or not, is a people business. Everyone on the other end of the line is a person. They're either buying or they're part of helping you create success. And so I'm a big believer in, you get success by helping other people to succeed and passing on that torch and that baton. And if it's like a win-win-win situation, then it makes it even better, because there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of amazing people. And so when you start to listen to some of the feedback that I had when I was younger from my dad, stay in contact with people, connect, and then going to, masterminds and connecting with people now, realizing the power of relationships, realizing the power of people that you stay in contact with, that people are like human at the end of the day. Like, it's a rare thing, but people are actually human. People are human before anything else. And so when we do business, we want to stay in touch with those people. We want to build those relationships. We want to stay in contact with people over time and allow us to create success in the future. It'd be pretty lonely to be up there on the top step of a final at, say, the Olympics, and to be up there alone, to not have any teammates, to not have any family, to not have any cheer squad, to not have any supporters. It'd be amazing for a short period of time, but afterwards, if you don't have those people around to support and cheer for you, it's not exactly what it wants to be. And so what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you if you're watching this? Is that in order to create business success, it's about how you think about business. What are the questions that you're asking yourself? What are the things that you haven't actually questioned within what you're doing? And what do you need to change? What do you need to improve? Because quite often we're so caught up in the problem. We're trying to escape this problem, and all we can think about is how can we solve the problem, as opposed to how can we find the solution? What are the different solutions out there? And that's where I come in to help you to think differently, to get a different perspective, and use the morals and structures that I have to help people to get across the line. I'm not sure Dre is in the background, like, furiously writing notes or like trying to get a cat nap in, just because he's doing such an amazing job. And I know that, like, on these endurance events, on these long-term strategies, it's pretty taxing. It affects your energy. And so, I was wondering if there's any questions out there, or even just throw in any shares that you have, like what might be one of the business success. Maybe I'm just still thinking about the conversation you were having with Sylvia before. But like the success stories that we have. It's just that unconscious mind. This is like you day 3. This is only me day 1.
Oh, Paddy. All right. So while you were talking, so where my head was going is, man, you are so like inspiring, and like you're really switched on. You ask like questions. I think I've told you this before that I don't even like think of, and so I'm trying to get my head around it, like how you can do these ultra like marathons, how you can, because most people wouldn't even like attempt it. They think about it and they're like, oh no, I'm too tired. Like, how do you like keep going? For me, I just can't comprehend it, and I don't. Yeah, and I know that you've probably got your process that you can apply to. Yeah, can you talk me through that? Because that's like, for me, I just find that really, really
Yeah,
fascinating.
of
For
course,
me,
mate.
it's like a dream. It's like I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't-
Yeah. Well, let's put it in the right context. So, like, in a business, like, there's something different. Like, when you argue that, like, entrepreneurs, coaches, people that want to create their own economy, want to create their own money, have like just a different mindset to the other people that create jobs, that just want to work for someone else.
Mm.
And for whatever reason, you're kind of on that path. You don't actually want to quit on that path because there's like something inside you. You're not really sure what it is, but there's something inside you that you want to kind of serve, that you want to kind of help other people on. And no matter what anyone else tells you, that's like your path and that's your goal. You wouldn't quit. You would just find a way. You become resourceful. And so for me, there was a whole period of my life when I wasn't fit. I didn't really have the success or any big achievements to my name. I didn't really think I was anyone. And so I wanted to prove something to everyone else, but almost to myself. And that's probably what like entrepreneurs and coaches do. And so for me, how did I find that? I first did, running, and then, I lost weight, and then you do like some longer distance events, and then you do like a half Ironman, and then you do an Ironman, and then it just kind of rolls on as if like in your coaching business, you want to make 6 figures, and then, oh, we've already got to 6 figures. Why do we stop at 6 figures? Well, let's just aim for 7, and then you aim for 7. You're like, oh, let's go for 8. Let's go for 8. Like it kind of gets on that internal drive. It's a thing that I've found within me, even in recent times. You kind of go through these phases. As soon as you lose that path, as soon as you lose that focus, it's hard to go out and run, to exercise, to actually do the work in your business. But you actually got to find something inside of you that you connect with, that you resonate with. And I don't actually know why it was ultra running or why it was Ironmans or why it's now business. But you kind of, I'm not sure if you ever had that feeling where you wake up in the morning and it's easy to get up at, stupid o'clock, 3 o'clock, like you and me do sometimes. I think you're a little bit earlier than I am. But for whatever reason, we just decide to get up early in the morning. It's just a decision that we've already pre-made because it's just a part of like who we want to be. Is this kind of making sense?
Yeah, it is. And that's like for you, most mornings you just get up like really early anyway. So it doesn't matter what's happening in your life. It's like, okay, alarm's gone off, boom, I'm up and I'm doing something. Is that right? Or is that?
Yeah, it's like what it is probably like when you've got like a kid or a child. I don't actually have any kids or children. I can only just imagine based on the stories that you hear from or your friends and mates that have got one of those things that you don't have to worry about, is that you feel obliged to fulfill that purpose. Like there's no way you could just leave your kid there crying or leave that kid there consciously. Like you can do it consciously to leave them there because they, want to stop crying or parenting. Anyway, that's not my area of expertise. But you actually feel obliged to get up in the morning. You feel obliged to have like a greater purpose that's outside of you, that you kind of work from like an internal drive motivated to help others. And so it's that mix of the two, if you can kind of harness both of those, internal drive for someone else and get your cup fulfilled at the same time. You're not trying to fill everyone else's cup up. That's where you can create that extra push, that extra thing that gets you across the line. It makes you want to push a little bit further.
Yeah, awesome. So it's just looking at Paul's comments, one of those things. Right, so when you were younger and you were losing that weight, were there any people around you that were saying, "Oh, you can't do that. You can't do that." So when you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to get a bit fitter. I'm going to get a bit fitter. I might do my first like half marathon." Did you have any doubters around you, or were people really supportive?
Yeah, I don't think I had any doubters. I think I probably had more doubters in my head than what I did externally. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever had that feeling where you feel like the world's against you. Everyone else has got the like someone's like else is pulling you down. Like you can't do it. You can't possibly do exactly what you said you would do. And there's probably more external things than there is internal things than there is external in that process. And because of that, you kind of find a reason. I almost call it like the Jordan mentality. I remember like a story from The Last Dance. I'm not sure if you've seen it. You feel like you must be a Jordan guy, Dre. You got the Jordan man behind you. This is you. Like every single day, you're like, one day. And he talks about this idea of a story that there was this young kid that said, like talking in the media, that like he was better than Jordan. He was all like up in his grill. He was like chatting to him, like big talk. And he comes out in the game and drops like 20 or 30 or like 30, 40, 50 on him and just walks off the court. And apparently he just made the story up in his head. He's created this story as a reason to go after this guy, to actually attack it. And so there's probably more people in our lives that push us, like externally, that we're trying to please or that we're trying to push.
Yes. Yeah.
In that kind of way. And so there's probably even when I went into the ultra space, is like I was motivated by proving other people wrong as opposed to just doing it for me. And it's finding probably that balance. We're not just doing it to prove a point to everyone else. And finding that right balance where it's like an internal thing. You just want to do it to see what's possible. You get to that potential. One of the things is like a white piece of paper. Quite often we've got like a draw, like if you've got a white piece of paper and someone draws and scribbles over it, like there's some amazing artists around and they just fill in the lines in the paper, but then you get given like this blank piece of paper. You got no idea where to start. Like it's when you don't have that internal or external motivation, it's like a blank piece of paper. So you've got to create your own lines and your own stories and your own boundaries on there to be able to help kind of define what it is that you want, which is like your choices. So you actually get to decide the choices about how you want to live. And then you actually got to make a choice to fulfill those choices. And that's kind of the shift.
I love that, bro. I love that. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. So we've got 5 minutes until we move over to FIZZA. Paddy, what like, do you have any like workshops, challenges, like coming up, seminars, anything like that coming up?
Yeah, I got a 5-day challenge coming up in on the 24th, Sunday night. So it's all around mindset mastery, and I dig deep into like setting goals and actually achieving them, because so many people out there have these big goals, these big dreams to achieve these things, but don't actually go out and achieve them. Like there's probably people that have written out their dreams or their goals. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to make it this time. This time I'm going to happen. And I've been the same, but there's been times when you achieve and times when you're not. And so like, how do you break that down into actually achieving the goal, putting things in place, which then covers stuff like choices, which is like a second day. And it really comes down to like the assumptions you make, the beliefs that we have about that process. And so we really pull that apart so that everyone walks away with the clarity to help them to move forward in that step, because there's like a bad habit, there's something in your life that isn't quite going the way you wanted to. Yeah, thanks, Brett. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Eric, for all these comments, and Trey for being here. Like, this is lit up. And so when you're trying to find like what it is that you actually want to do, fulfill that goal, fulfill that dream, there's something that stops you and gets in your way. So it's like, how do we pull apart one of those challenges to actually feel like you can achieve that dream and fulfill that goal? Because there's so many unkept promises, unkept dreams, unkept goals in the world. Like you hear of it, stories, entrepreneurs, business owners. Oh, I had that idea like five years later. Facebook would think, I had that idea. If I'd only just done that. Yeah. I've been the same. Like, yeah, I'll go do that thing. Like, that's an idea. One day. But
One day.
It just bit me to it. 5 years.
Yeah.
That should have been me. And so, like, how do you pull yourself out of that and to actually start achieving the success that you want? Which is, pretty rare. Yeah, thanks, Georgie. It's like achieving those goals. Like, you actually want to fulfill that. Like, you want to be there. You want to be at the ring. Like, you want to be on the podium with the people around you celebrating on that process and that goal. And so you must find that as well, Jay, like with who you help and the coaches, is that like that's the path, is why they come to someone like yourself, is like they want to have those people in your corner.
Yeah, it's yeah, a lot of what we do, because I know Paul put up a comment, what 80% like mindset. It's a lot of it is just like internal, and I can see say my clients and like other people's potential, but they can't see it, and it's just making them being able to see it. So having like little wins, that confidence. Oh, I think I might just be able to do this. Yeah. Like, oh, it actually worked. Oh, okay. And then yeah, you just keep on growing, and then like as you know, like TK says, there's a devil in every level, and we are definitely our biggest own critics. And I know for me, I just need to get out of my own way. That's what that's what I need to do.
Just that simple. Just get out of your own way. Just like pull him aside and then just walk through, and that's it. Just stick to it. A massive coffee line. It's the same thing with beliefs. Your level of belief. Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. Like, it's the thing that with all the reading around ego, around beliefs, a lot of entrepreneurs, it's Scary Beliefs. Rich talks about it all the time, that he often writes down the beliefs people have. The thing is that quite often there's beliefs out there. Quite often it's the level of beliefs that we have that differentiate yourself from one level to the next. But it's actually believing in that belief. Like, that's the tricky part. It's like telling Santa's real, but how do you know? How do you know that it's possible? How do you pull that apart? Well, maybe you might have to come to the 5-day challenge to really figure out how to.
Is that seriously? Is that in the morning or afternoon, evening?
Yeah, it's on an evening. It's on a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday at about 6:30 p.m. Australian time, just after work, just before the kids go to bed, just before you have tea. Come in and, rather than putting Netflix on for an hour, you just come in and rock out with me, change your life, fulfill your dreams. insert big quotes, insert big we've only got a couple of hours over the 5 days to change some perspectives, but it will be well worthwhile.
I love that. And what's the best way to get hold of you?
Best way is like either on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, all socials, Patrick FARNAN. I'm pretty much thereabouts. And just, reach out and connect. Always happy to have a conversation. Appreciate.
Yeah, I'm loving your content. I am. Yeah, like every time I see it, it's like, it's like awesome. Like you got some awesome content. I'm loving it.
Also like
next level.
Bring up in the chat screen for Dre, like for being here, pulling us all together. For like Paul and for Brett to like help and put this thing together. Like it's amazing outcome. It's amazing achievement. Like to be able to run this for 3 days and put it all together. I mean, we're only on day one, but this has been great. There's been some great guests that have come on that have got like their knowledge and their expertise, and it's a great cause for the Rett syndrome and Ackerman syndrome. So appreciate
it. Thank you for you for like straight away you were like, yep, I'm there. Like, what do you need? So I just appreciate you for being you and for coming on. And man, I love, just your level of thinking. That's what it is, your level of thinking. So I love that. And like you're a great coach as well. So appreciate you so much.
Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that.
All right, get out of here before I start crying or something, and we'll catch up soon.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, mate. All right, so now we have all right, so Paul Yeo has put the GoFundMe. Cool, thanks, Paul. All right, so next up we have FIZZA Khan. Absolutely love her energy, love her vibe, and like just another one. Like today's been amazing. Just another one. Just oh man, people just want to help, and I just love it. All right, so FIZZA, a big, massive, warm, humongous welcome to you.
Hey! Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the chance to support this great cause. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of it. So it's a special 3 days. All right, FIZZA, before I depart, do you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, sure. Hey friends, I'm FIZZA KASHIF Khan, and I am the world-class relationship guru. And it's not a one-day magic. I will tell you later how I become that person, but I help and empower migrant professionals and people like you to connect with your true self by overcoming self-doubt, overthinking, depression, and anxiety to enjoy happy relationships, not only with yourself, but people around you.
So that was just brilliant. All right, I'm going to leave you to it. You good to go?
Yeah, I just have a presentation.
Yeah, that's cool. So at the bottom, there's a share screen. So similar to Zoom with the arrow.
Okay. Yeah, no worries.
Up. Yeah, and I'll bring it to the screen for you. All right.
So I have few questions to ask you, friends. Do you feel like you are not good enough? Are you a people pleaser? Are you scared of saying no to people? Or you keep on judging yourself that what if I will say no, then maybe people reject you? What if I will start living my own life on my terms and condition? Maybe my husband or my partner will leave me. What if I start taking my own decision? What will happen to me? What will happen to my relationship with my parents, with my siblings, with my loved ones? If you are that person, and I have a good news for you, that it's okay. It is absolutely okay, because I was like you too. And I did not even know that what sort of a life I am living. And this is the indication that if you have all these issues, people pleaser, not having a guts or courage to take your decision, or not loving and respecting yourself by giving yourself importance, or disconnecting or giving importance to other people and neglecting yourself and saying yes, yes, yes to those things which you don't like, it means that you are disconnected with your real you, your true self. So now I will share a short introduction about myself, how I became the person who I am today. I was a people pleaser. I was full of fear. I was introvert because people suppressed my voice. They rejected my views by saying, you don't know how to talk. You don't use the proper words. You don't know how to interact with people. You don't know how to respect others. You say whatever you want to say without thinking that what you are talking about. That all these things push me in my cage, and I block myself. I block my energy. And I become so shy and introvert that I hate going in public. Whenever my parents, they took me to the market, I started crying. I always tell them that please don't take me. I don't like it. And I feel suffocated. I had panic attacks and I wanted to share something. But because of the fear that I don't know how to talk, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I don't respect people. These all are the limiting belief that programmed my mind. That's why I decided to be the rebellion. And I started doing things which my parents did not like it. Because I become attention seeker. I became the center of attention. I started behaving in such a way which people now labeling that autistic or tantrums or whatever. Because I need attention. I need to be heard. That's why I love what I do. And if you are the one who is going through all these things, it is okay. This is not your fault because you don't have knowledge. What you don't know, you don't know. It's okay. That's why I am sharing all these things, just to create the awareness that you can change your life. That is why I stood up to become relationship guru, because we always look at other stuff in our life, relationship with our partner, relationship with our parents, relationship with our colleague, but we neglect the relationship with ourselves. So my friends, the disconnection with your true self, that costs you too much. That totally destroys your life. So don't do those mistakes that I did, that I suffer. If you feel like, oh, people judge you, I hear you. I feel you, because I was like you. People judged me. When I came to Australia, as a spouse of international student, this new environment, this new lifestyle, started from scratch, totally disconnected again. I feel so bad about myself that I am the worst person in this world, because in my country, I used to live like a queen. When I started living here from zero, people judge me. People label me that who told you to come to Australia? Who told you to come here? You don't deserve to live here. These are the words of one of the therapists when I went there to take help. That therapist judged me, and that made me suicidal. And that day I decided enough is enough. I would become that person that become the light of humanity. And yes, I am the light of humanity. That's why I'm helping and empowering people to connect with their true self. Because I know the cost of it. I know. And you know, we all are living in the shadow of our parents. We all are living in the shadow of others. It is your time, my friends, to take the ownership, not by being effect, by blaming people. Hey, because of this is, I'm living like that, because of that. No, take the charge of your life by being the cause that whatever is happening because of me. I give permission to people. I give them permission to use me and abuse me. I give my control to people that I love. So this is your time to take the charge. And let me share. I hope it works. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, okay. Just bear with me.
It's just down at the bottom, FIZZA, the share screen. There we go. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it says select window or screen.
Yeah. So if your presentation's on your window, you can do window. Yeah.
Yeah, it's here. No. What's that? Okay, let me check if I am.
There we go. Awesome.
Yep. Okay. So yes, this is my presentation, and let me start. Okay, that's okay. So look, we all are living in the pond of these beautiful color fishes. And when you are living by accepting others' point of views and believe, you are like this pond. You are living in this pond. I was like you. My clients was like you. And when they decide to stand up for themselves, and off and on, you keep on switching like this, sitting on the edge. Oh, I have to take action to change my life? Or let it be. Be with the flow. Maybe my partner will change. Maybe my kids will change. Maybe my husband, my parents will change. Maybe my wife will change. Maybe my husband will change. Instead of focusing on changing ourselves, we focus on changing others. And the day you decide to connect with your true self by taking the charge of your life, then you get the courage. You reach out to people who help you. And then you decide to create your own ocean that is full of love, peace, and unity. And then you you are like this at the moment. And when you start taking help, when you start following your professional's instructions or guidelines, then slowly, you become a butterfly, ready to fly, free. So this is me. Look at my eyes. Scary. No spark. No charm of happiness, love, and no charm to live the life. I tried to take my own life. But God has some different plans for me. So I stood up and I take help. And this is 2020. I keep on evolving because I can't serve my clients or humanity or you from empty vessel. No, not at all. And then the day I take charge of my life, I love this quote. Don't be a woman that needs a man. Be a woman men needs. This is the power of reconnecting with your true self, my friends. And my clients, they created the same thing, whether it's men or women. They love this quote, and they created their own image with this because they feel so proud of themselves, because they know that their parents' beliefs are not their beliefs. They know, and they got realization that they are responsible for their life. And this is my husband and my daughter. And I was I used to be a drama queen and all the time blaming my husband for everything. Because of you, because of you, because of you. And when I listen to my clients and when they blame, and I was like, uh-oh. Because you serve people in the best possible way when you live that life, when you had gone through those struggles. So my friends, every single day you make a choice, and the choice is yours, whether to see the positive or negative, whether to be at effect by blaming people or at cause, that whatever is happening in my life is because of me. So see this one, cause and effect. Stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming your partner. Stop blaming anyone and everyone in your life, because you are responsible for your life. Your choices make your life, and each and every single moment of your life, you are making a choice. You are deciding about your life. You are programming your mind, whether you love to take charge or you love to be in victim mode by repeating the same story again and again and again. It's all about you. It's nothing to do with anyone. It's all about you. So when you take the charge by being at cause, not at effect, then the life become like this. Cause come here, effect here. And you were like, shut up. I am responsible. I am responsible for everything. And you started making choices in such a way that please you, that helps you to grow. You choose whom to interact and whom to step back, whom to delete and whom to connect. You start choosing and making choices on each and every level of your life by loving and respecting yourself. Look at this. Self-doubt. I had a client full of doubts, full of overthinking, monkey mind. Once he gave permission to himself to be free, you can see the change from effect to cause. Another one, she was taking sleeping pills, antidepressant. You can see the difference. Why? Because she chose to stand up by realizing that, whoa, I gave the permission to people. And look at the magic of reconnection. Glow on the face. Glow on the face. And it's like a free bird. And another one, you can easily see the difference, effect. And when take charge by reconnecting with your truth that I am love, I am not the shadow of my mom. I'm not the shadow of my father. I'm not the shadow of my husband. I am responsible for my life. And I am vibrating that energy. That's why I'm attracting these people. That's why they are labeling me and blaming me. But once you reprogram your mind, once you take charge, once you give permission to yourself to be free, then the magic begins. And you can see the difference here. And until you spread your wings, you have no idea how far you can fly. And you all have that courage. You all have that strong wings to fly. And I highly suggest you, if you are feeling down, if you have no hope, listen to that song. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. This is the song that I highly suggest my clients, because that song changed my life. When I was 7 years old, I started listening that song. I love this song. And whenever I drive, I listen to this song. And this song is amazing, amazing. Discovering who you are by shedding who you perceive yourself to be. You started shedding your skin, your mask, your beliefs like a snake. And you become a free bird. And you started on the journey of self-discovery, self-development, self-mastery, and self-actualization by taking the charge of your life. And you become the powerful, and you choose your words wisely, because you realize that, yes, words also, they have a power. Your cell, each and every cell in your body listening to you. And if you have any health issues, watch out your words. Are you hating yourself, neglecting yourself, and you are blaming yourself? So this is the magic. And once you take the charge, once you're choosing your words wisely, then you start accepting yourself the way you are, no matter what your parents say, no matter what your partner say, no matter what, because you know your truth. You know your truth. So this is the magic. This is the magic. And that's why I love what I do. I love to see the transformation, because I know that you deserve the best. I know that you are the voice. Stop suppressing your voice, because you never know. Maybe your one word can change someone's life. Your one sentence give the light of hope to someone to live, because so many people are suffering silently. Please don't be one of them. if you want to take charge, you can take it, because everything begins with you and ends with you. It's only the matter to change your thoughts, to change your reality, because your thoughts, shut it down. Shut your monkey mind. Don't listen to people, because if you keep on giving importance to people, they keep on suppressing you. Don't listen to them. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. And give permission to yourself to be love, because you are love. We all are love. And you are the leader of your life. Bring out that leader. Bring that out by taking off the mask. No. Do you know Robin Williams? He made other people to laugh, but he committed suicide. Please, you deserve the best. It's okay. It's okay. Help is everywhere. If you need my help, just reach out. Reach out, but don't take your life. You are the one in billion, and nobody is like you. You are very precious. Take the charge. Stand up by saying enough is enough, and you will see the difference. I'm ready to hold your hand. Are you ready? If not you, then who? If not now, then when? Don't waste your time, because your children are silently learning from you what you are teaching them. Don't do those mistakes that your parents did. Just break that invisible chain of transgenerational trauma. What is not right is not right. If that's your parents, it's okay. Respect is something else. Suffering is something else. Don't suffer. World needs you. World needs the better place. Make this world the better place to live. Like we all are standing together to support a cause. Why? You know why? Because we know who we are. 100 of coaches, all of us know who we are. And we all are together in this journey because we choose to be different. We choose to be love. So you are. If you are watching, you see my reflection in you. I am you. You are me. So if any question, feel free to ask.
Hey, FIZZA, that was amazing. Absolutely. You know, I feel like really like motivated and inspired. Guys, if you've got any questions, please let us know. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, then go to restream.io and you can connect your Facebook to Restream, and then we'll be able to see your beautiful or handsome face when you ask us a question. I'm not sure how much. Okay, I've only got a couple of minutes, like FIZZA. So I'm just question that I was thinking was, you know, like say if someone is on that, you know, on the brink of like, oh, you know, maybe I'm going to go do something stupid and I don't want to be here tomorrow. And I know that you mentioned before that you faced the same thing and you've had that thoughts a while ago. What would you say to someone that's, you know, that's in that position?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So like, you know, you mentioned that you were that you had like that you were thinking about ending your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if there was like someone watching or listening, like even now or later, what would you say to them?
Just reach out, because I know you are full of fear of judging, like people judge you. There's no one who listen to you. I know that. I hear you. I feel you. Just reach out. Please don't take your own life. You deserve the best. And just write it down. The easy thing, whatever is bothering you, write it down. Write it down and read it loudly. I know I sound stupid to few of you, but I know that nothing works when you are depressed, when there is a darkness all around. You feel like, what the hell she is talking about? Write it down. No, I better kill myself. Please don't do that. Reach out to the right people. Don't discuss with everyone. Don't discuss. Reach out to professionals. I made a mistake. I talked to my friends, and they were so-called friends. Don't do that. No. I know the desperation to vent it out. And I don't suggest meditation, because I don't meditate because my mind used to become monkey mind.
All right. So what you said? Yep. Sorry. So what you're saying there is just to reach out to professionals that, that can help, but definitely ask for help. Yeah. So important. All right. Milton was there, but I think he must have dropped off. So I'll just give you a couple more questions. How can people get hold of you? And do you have any like workshops or challenges or anything coming up?
Yes, I have my 5-day challenge, and that will be on 1st of August, and that would be 5 days. And if you don't want to participate in that challenge, that's okay. So you can reach out to me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Just DM me or email me, fizzalightofhope@gmail.com. But I request you one thing. Why I'm saying I request you? Because I came to know one doctor, he committed suicide. One lady, she committed suicide. And when I knew about these people, I was like, oh no, please don't do that. Reach out, because 100 of us, see, you get so much variety. Reach out to any one of us. We are there for you. We are here for you. But don't take your own life. You are very precious.
Awesome. Fizza, I just want to say thank you very much for today and all of your support, your contribution, like time, money, value, like your knowledge, and sharing your own like personal experience and how you've helped like your clients as well, which is truly valuable. So appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the chance to be the part of this cause and supporting them. And just reach out, Fizza Kashif Khan on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. So don't worry, you are not alone. Thank you, Dre. Thank you so much for giving your time and organizing this event. That means a lot. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right. You have an amazing afternoon. All right. See you, Fizza.
See ya.
Right,
bye.
All right. So Milton was here. He's dropped off again. What I'm going to do, I've uploaded a new video. So hopefully this one's going to have sound. So it goes for about a minute. So let's test this bad boy out and see if it works. All right, so that is why we're all here. And Milton was here, and he's, yeah, thank you, Paula. Yeah, it's definitely not easy. And I know that Paula has a son with disabilities as well. Right, Milton was here, and he's dropped off again. So I'm trying to think if I've got any dad jokes. Normally I do. All right, guys, let me know how has if you guys have seen, some of the day, most of the day, or a little bit, just let me know your thoughts in the chat screen. And if you've had a favorite, I know most of us know each other, shouldn't have favorites, but who would you be like your favorite speaker so far? There's been some phenomenal speakers and topics as well of all different things. All right, we'll give Milton a couple more minutes, and I might go and take a toilet break. So it might be a good time for everybody, all the guys that are tuned in, to go and grab a cup of tea, like eat some bickies. All right, I'm just going to send Milton a message. All right, so his computer keeps freezing and it's very unresponsive. So, all right. Oh, I think he's back. All right, let's take. I'm going to take like a 5-10 minute break. And then I'll pop back because I need to go to the loo, and this is a good opportunity. And for you guys that are tuned in, grab yourselves a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a cup of biscuits. I'll just play a video while we're waiting. All right, Hilton, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Oh, all right, brilliant. All right, so I think we're good to go. I'm just going to leave you to it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you do your thing. I'll pop back for like any sort of like questions that people might have.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Listen. G'day, everyone. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Hilton, and I am a nutritionist for men. And can I say it is? Can I say that I'm so grateful to be here and to support this worthy cause and to help raise money for both Rett's syndrome and Angelman's syndrome. So please, if you can, there'll be a link somewhere. If you can, just donate some money and help these causes, to help these two lovely friends of mine, and to help them and help their daughters. So let's get stuck into what I want to talk about today. So what I really want to talk about today is all about the guys. The guys that get left behind, the guys that don't seem to worry about their health, and because that's really my focus and that's really my interest. So before I get into it, I want to share some interesting statistics with you that I found quite disturbing, and one of the reasons why it drives me every day to make health for men a better thing for them. So one of the things that that is really interesting is, on average, men have a life expectancy of less than
6 years. 6 years for women. So, for example, that could mean that, say, men might die at 76 and women will live till 84. So it's men were actually dying earlier, and I find that really, really sad and quite tragic. And so I want to help prevent that. That's part of what I do and why I do it. The other thing too that we all need to consider is this one is quite alarming when I found this out, that 3 in 4, so that's 75% of men are either overweight or obese. And that is quite alarming. So we've got to put that into perspective. So when we are a little bit overweight and we're a little bit obese, if we don't put measures in place to change that, then what's gonna happen is that's gonna lead to something else, and it's gonna lead to something else, and before you know it, you'll lead to other diseases such as type 2 diabetes. And that's definitely something that as men, we really don't want to go down that path. So the other thing I honestly wanted to let you guys know is that as a general rule, as men, we have poorer health outcomes. And there is a reason for that. The reason for that is we're the ones that don't go to the doctors. We're the ones that don't get our health sorted. We're the ones that just go, oh, I'll just grin and bear it. And that's not how it should be. We should be empowering ourselves to take control of our health to help us all kind of move forward there. Also, I guess I wanted to share with you the statistic that 1 in 4 men, so 1 in 4 men actually exceed recommendations of alcohol consumption. So we've got to also put that into perspective as well. The current guidelines are, at the moment, only 10 standard drinks a day is what is advertised to reduce the risk of alcohol-related conditions and diseases. And it's likely that many of you out there right now are actually, as part of that statistic, and are actually drinking a lot more than that during the week, on the weekend, whatever it may be. And that's something else. That's something we can control, okay? And that is something that is very close to my heart. So I just wanted to share those statistics with you. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is the 5 barriers. There's 5, there we go. I am on my phone, so excuse me. 5 barriers to why men don't move forward with their health and why they don't speak up. So one of the first barriers that is really common is denial. So what we do know is, is men can be in denial. So that's where they've got that idea that what they think is that's happening is really kind of insignificant. So they don't think about it. It might be a pain in the knee. It might just be they're a little bit more overweight. It might be a wrist pain. It might be, maybe something's going on with their cholesterol levels or something like that. So they're kind of in denial, and they go, oh, look, let's just wait to see if it gets better. No big deal. It's just a part of getting older. Well, the reality is that it's not a big deal yet, and that's the thing I need to drive home to you all, is that it's not a big deal yet. If we don't do something about it, what's going to happen is it will generally turn into a big deal. So another thing that's a barrier with us men is we don't take action fast enough. We really, really don't. So we might let, say, a pain in the lower back drag on, and drag in. Oh, she'll be right, mate. It's just a little pain in the back. I'll just grin and bear it, and I'll just grin and bear it. And then what happens is that it becomes worse. And then it becomes worse again. And you just go, oh, I'll just grin and bear it. It's one of those things that really is so prevalent in our society as men, is that action of just grinning and bearing it. That's not, if you've got a pain, we should be able to sort it out. So I guess from my perspective, looking at it as men, maybe we don't put enough value on our health. Maybe that's what it is, because that would definitely be what I would consider one of the barriers there, and one of the driving factors. But one of the other things that really kind of puts a barrier for us men is to take action for our health is the good old macho man syndrome. So, often as a gender, we fear that taking action over something that we might feel to be insignificant is weak. But, as a gender, as a society, we need to change that. That is not the way we should be evolving as men. Sure, that was potentially something that happened, something that stigma was around, 40, 50, 60 years ago. Oh, look, I'll just grin and bear it. Maybe I'll eat a cup of concrete and harden up. Who knows? But you know what? The truth is, there is nothing more empowering than taking control of your health. Absolutely nothing. There's nothing there that is so empowering as taking control of your health. In actual fact, not taking control of your health is disempowering, and that's when you are going to feel weak and you are going to feel disempowered. So what we really should be doing is moving forward and forgetting about that macho man syndrome, dropping that label, and seeking support when we need it. Probably the final thing that really is a barrier for men is potentially, when it comes to their health, is they're embarrassed. They're embarrassed to speak up about it. They're embarrassed they're nervous. They're embarrassed. And the thing we need to realize is, you know what? Everyone has health problems. I've got health problems. You out there have got health problems. The next guy over there has got health problems. Do you know what? It's much easier to talk about it than it is not to talk about it. So, I just wanted to share some of those barriers with you. So I just want to talk about what I see in my business, because I think that's really important. So I'm a clinical nutritionist, who specializes in men's health, and I see a lot of men for support. So I support people with anxiety, I support people with depression, I support people that are stressed, I support people that are overweight, I support people that are obese. I supported people with prostate issues as well. So and basically anything there that is a problem, I certainly have a solution for you. But I really wanted to touch now on a few things all about solutions. So how can we actually create change in our lives, and how can we actually move forward with our health? So I wanted to start with the first solution, and the first solution that we should be aiming for is changing how we think. So when I'm talking about that, I'm really talking about getting rid of that idea that you need to be a macho man. So getting rid of that stigma of not speaking up, of not saying, hey, I've got a problem with my sore knee, or hey, I've got a problem with my weight, or hey, I've got a problem with, I'm all stressed out, I'm not dealing with social situations anymore. So that is one thing I think a solution is. We need to break that mold of being a macho man and speak up. Speak up about your health. Speak to your partner. Speak to a doctor. Speak to a trusted professional, because that's going to give you resolution, and it's also going to give you a solution. The other thing I guess we could also do is stop being in denial. Seriously, guys, wake up, smell the coffee. Your health should be your priority. I don't know about you guys, but I've got kids and I want to see them grow up. And I want to see my kids have grandkids, and I want to see them grow up as well. So it's my mission personally to make me the healthiest person I can be. And it's also my mission to make every man in this country the healthiest they have ever been. I really want to raise the standard of men's health. I guess, I've also got to stop being in denial about something that isn't normal about your health. So let me give you an example. I like to use the feather, brick, and Mack truck example. So often sometimes we get little warning signs like a little bit of a tickle at the feather. And for a guy, that might mean that maybe their clothes aren't fitting as well as they could have. They go, oh, that's okay. I'll just buy the next size up. I'm just signing a size up, maybe I'm getting a bit older, things like that. And then that happens, maybe 4 years down the track, and maybe even be 2 years down the track, they get hit with a brick. And the brick might be, the weight's getting on a bit. I'm not as fit as what I used to be. I can't do it anymore. I can't run around after the kids. I can't run. I can't go to the gym. I just sit on the couch all day. And they get hit by that brick and go, oh, gee, they don't think of anything by it. And then one day they get hit with the Mack truck. And the Mack truck is they go to the doctor. Those guys, how you feeling? And it goes, oh, doc, I'm feeling terrible. I've got all these problems. And the doctor goes, right, I'll give you a blood test. Comes back and the doctor goes, sorry, you've got diabetes. Or they might say, oh, look, you've got prostate cancer. Or, they might say something else. They might say, oh, you're starting to get dementia. You're depressed, you're anxious, whatever it may be for you. The idea there is don't ignore the feather. Don't ignore those little tickles of the feather, because that's where we can start preventative health. That's where we can start to make steps forward to give you a healthier life. So the other thing I wanted to speak about today is, what do we actually do? What can we actually do to move ourselves forward still? So one of the things I like to do is as men, I think we need to be pragmatic about things, and we need to have patience. So when I'm talking about being pragmatic, I'm actually talking about focusing on what you can do, not so much what you can't. So these are things like focusing on the choices that you make every day to move yourself forward, focusing on the choices of, maybe it's having one less alcoholic drink a day. Maybe it's walking to the shops instead of driving in the car when the shops are 10 minutes away. Focusing on the simple things that you can do to move your health forward. The other thing, of course, is never forget about the impact of the 1% effect. So when we start a new habit, or when we start something new, we start in small increments. And over time, those increments up, and we will see what's called a snowball effect. So that is where little changes along the way actually add up, and they actually do make a difference. So I want people to never forget about those little changes. And again, it can be something as simple as walking to the shops and back, or things like that. So the other thing we need to remember as men is, health. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Particularly when we're changing habits, we've also got to remember that it takes focus, and it takes consistency, and it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was your health. Your health isn't going to change overnight. So I guess when we're focusing on our lifestyle and changes in our lifestyle, one of the best things we can do is get a socially healthy hobby. So when I'm talking about something that's socially healthy, I'm talking about something that gives you connection with other people. So, for example, I'll use my dad as an example. He's in his 80s, and his socially healthy hobby is going to the men's shed. And that is such a good thing for him, because he gets connection and he gets to be a part of a community. So I think as men, sometimes we can feel a bit isolated. Sometimes we can feel a little bit, again, a little bit isolated. And so we need to have that social outlet there to help us all kind of move forward and have that community spirit. The other thing I think as men is we need to not underestimate the power of movement. So movement is medicine. Now, for many people, going to the gym may be an option, and that's totally okay. But what about walking more? What about creating more movement inside your day? What about doing the things that can give you more energy. So things, well, obviously moving actually gives you more energy. So I'll leave that there. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was just some simple things on your diet. So simple things that we can do to focus basically on the basics. So what are the basics of a good diet? Because, there's so much misinformation out there, and I'd like to share with you from my 2 degrees that I've done in nutrition, what I think goes through a basic diet, particularly for men. So for men, one of the most basic things we can do is make sure that we're eating adequate protein. So adequate protein would look something like, if you were, say, 60 kilos, which is roughly about what I weigh, adequate protein for me throughout the day would look like about 60 grams. I like to tell people that if you can see your palm and the palm of your hand here, and you can see, say the palm of your hand, that's about how much protein you should be having at each meal, and that includes breakfast. Many of us have poor choices for breakfast, such as cereal, and they really don't do a lot for our health, and they will often set us up for a bit of a blood sugar roller coaster for the rest of the day. So that's one thing I generally don't advise people to do, is eat cereal or toast for breakfast. Other things we can do is potentially eating more healthy fats. So these are fats such as avocado, olives, the good fats in fish, things like nuts and seeds, all of those kinds of things. That's so important for our health, and fat's been vilified for such a long time, and it's time for that to come out of the closet and take its on your plate. We also need to consider vegetables, because I know that there's only 1 in 10 men eat the recommended amount of vegetables per day. So it's something that we all need to be mindful of, because they can be some of the most nutrient dense foods on your plate, and certainly something that is necessary for health. So when I'm talking about vegetables, I'm talking about the ones that grow above the ground. So foods like pretty much any green leafy vegetable, olives, tomatoes, cauliflower, broccoli, those kinds of things. They should make an appearance on your plate, on every plate. I guess the other thing we've got to consider is, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room at the moment, is alcohol. Look, guys, I know you see me here rambling on, but honestly, alcohol is one of the biggest problems that I see in my clinical practice. The reality is, society has taught us that drinking to excess is okay. Drinking is socially acceptable. Well, yeah, kind of. I guess it can be socially acceptable if you don't drink that often. But when you're having a Friday night binge or a Saturday night binge or whatever, that's not going to do you any good. We really need to start thinking about the harm that alcohol is actually doing to your body, particularly the long-term effects, because we always think of the short term, we never think of the long term. And finally, I just want to sum up a few key nutrients that you should be looking at, that every man kind of needs more of. So one of them is magnesium, and you can find that in green leafy vegetables. You could get a magnesium supplement if you want, but that's generally one thing that we don't have enough of. Another one that we don't have enough of is CoQ10. So CoQ10 is really important for energy production. So you can find that in foods like fatty fish, in lentils, in red meat, and things like that. And particularly for men, as we get older, looking at increasing the need for zinc food. So zinc is super important, not just for our hormone production and our swimmers, but also for prostate health. And also, as we get older, foods that are rich in zinc are going to be really important. So these are foods like red meat and pumpkin seeds, and oysters, seafood, and kind of things like that. So look, I want to say thank you to you all for listening to ramble on about men's health. It's something that I am super passionate about. And I also want to thank Dre for giving me the platform to have a bit of a chat, and hope that we raise a little bit more money for the charity.
Hilton, that was awesome. I loved like some of the facts that you said and all like the tips as well. So I want to say a huge, massive thank you to you for giving up your time, coming on, sharing, and being involved. So I really appreciate you, man. It was awesome.
Thanks for having me. Yes.
Quickly before you go, what's the best way for people to get hold of you?
Okay, best way for people to get hold of me is, that's a great question. I've never thought about that. Best way for people to get hold of me is they can find me on Facebook. So I'm at Hilton Melder Nutritionist. They can find me there. They can see some of the stuff I do on there. I've also got a men's group up on Facebook, so that's another way to contact me. So that's called the Healthy Dads Hub. They can find me there. They can find me at my website at hmeldernutrition.com. And but where you won't find me is you won't find me in the yellow pages.
Why not? All right. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Thanks very much. Have a lovely day, guys. See ya.
Okay. You too. See ya. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. So that was Hilton Melder, nutritionist. And up next, we've got one of my favorite people. And this legend, this super legend, we had a couple. She was kind enough to give me a couple of sessions to squeeze them in last week and the week before. And yeah, a couple of them. The first session got a little bit uncomfortable because, like, with me, I think you guys know that I love my dad jokes and I use masks. Sometimes use like humor as a mask, like emotions. And she was like, "Dre, stop laughing, like concentrate, focus on the question." And I was like, "Okay." So there, and I've had a few sort of like breakthroughs and like realizations since. So who am I talking about? I am talking about Melinda WARNECKE. She's like gold in the background and like she's magical, she's marvelous, she's magnificent. A couple of words that spring to mind for me is unstoppable, but also loving as well. So let's get Mim out here. Hey. Oh, I can't hear you. Right, maybe try this. Yeah, if you go to, there's a settings button down there. So you've got the mic, the share screen, and right on the right hand side is like the settings. If you press settings, go to audio, and then you've got audio input.
What about now?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God, amazing. Isn't that funny? Like it's so interesting. You don't have to be a tech whiz to be amazing.
Mel, I just want to say
I'm not a tech
whiz.
whiz.
Like thank you for coming on and giving up your time, and like just personally, like what you've done for me as well, and the realizations, because you checked in with me the day after, and you're like, "How's everything going?" Did you speak
neural pathways landing?
Yeah, you're like, did you speak to that certain person? I was like, yes, I did. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, Dre. You're amazing. Thank you for having me on. I'm really humbled to support the cause. Hey.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so mindset mastery. I am gonna let you do your thing, and then I'll be back towards the end when you finish. We'll see if anyone's got any questions.
Yeah, great.
And I'm probably gonna have some questions as well. So see you soon.
You may. Awesome. Thank you, Dre. Thank you. And hi, everybody. Those of you that that do know me, I'm a mindset coach for female coaches. However, before I was a mindset coach for female coaches, I was actually a really highly sought after major gift fundraiser in the Australian university sector and ran big fundraising teams for not-for-profits across Australia. And so fundraising is something that I'm really, really passionate about. deeply passionate about what it means to give. And even when I think about my coaching business, it's all focused on giving is living. And we're not really living unless we're giving, because there's so many people out there that can benefit from anything that we have to give, whether it's financial or whether it's knowledge, it's love, it's heart. It could be absolutely anything. Hi, Paul. Hi, Brett. So today I'm coming to talk to you about how you can take control. Not sure how we're going to go with language here, but those of you that know me know that I am well versed and colourful with language that comes out of my mouth. So how can you control being a moody bitch? Basically, that's what we're going to talk about. And so I'm a mindset coach for female coaches, as I've shared with you. But what am I really? I'm really a woman who wakes up every single day and I choose to experience the life that I'm living. Like, I choose this, and I choose this from multiple different levels, not just logically choosing it. And, you know, what does that mean? It means that I focus on how I want my day to unfold. So when I get up in the morning, we all know that there's things called morning routines, and as coaches, we don't talk about them. However, what I'm going to do is share with you today why it's actually really important that you understand what you're doing in the morning and for what purpose you're actually doing it for. So imagine this, right? Imagine you wake up and you bounce out of bed and you actively choose to secrete from your brain and into your body a drug called endorphins. Imagine you then sit down and you read for 15 minutes and you feed your mind with the most positive thoughts, inspiring stories, motivational speeches. And you create an inspiring mood, empowering ideas, and you secrete serotonin. Imagine that you decide to close down your eyes just for a little bit and you remember all of the most loving and heartwarming events from your life, all of the moments of feelings of deep pride, you know, euphoric nostalgia. And if you think about that, that's a 30-minute process. And in that 30 minutes, you have very effectively released endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. And this is what it means to actually actively choose to wake up and experience the day that you want to experience. And so a beautiful way to tap into this is to just take a couple of really deep breaths deep into the belly and then bring it all the way up. And I want you, if you're, prepared to give it a go, just do 2 or 3 deep breaths like this. Because when we do that, we're allowing serotonin to be secreted from our brain and into our body. And when we all know, when we have high levels of serotonin, we have higher levels of happiness. Shit ton of research on this from Harvard and many, many other reputable organizations and institutions, right? And so this actually really, really works. Our mind is the most incredible, powerful thing, far more powerful than most of us can imagine. We know what we focus on is what we get. But if we want to be happy, we have to create the life that brings happiness, and we have to understand how to support our bodies to do that. And so what I want to talk to you about is, first of all, dopamine. I'm going to give you a little rundown on these 4 little magic drugs, and then we're going to just do a little exercise if there's time, because I know that we are definitely on the clock, but we'll do a little exercise where I'll be asking you questions throughout this short little mini masterclass for you to be thinking about how do you currently create these releases of hormones in your body daily, not weekly or fortnightly or monthly, but daily. How do you potentially currently fill that requirement, and what are some new alternatives that you may choose to introduce into your daily activity after this session? So dopamine is like a quick hit. It's like that short, quick hit drug, and it's released from our brain for one particular purpose, and it's to give us focus. So dopamine creates like a nudge. It'll give us so it's for short bursts, and it's for small things. And so what does that mean? It means if you've got a goal that's a long way out, the dopamine hit is not going to help you get there. This is why coaches chunk things into small goals, right? So the main reason that we focus is so that we can achieve great things. When we achieve great things, we release dopamine. It leads to pleasurable feelings, okay? And it inspires you to act. Thank you, Hilton. I appreciate you. So who here has recalled some sort of time in our life where we've been told, man, like you did an awesome job. Like that was great. And so when you remember that, you release a little bit of dopamine. Praise and recognition gives our motivation levels a massive amount of boost. So it's important to remember that when dopamine spikes, it's so that you can achieve a reward. So it happens ahead of time. It happens before you do the thing, right? So it's about the thinking around it. So the dopamine hit, unfortunately, we get a dopamine hit when we have a sleepless night. So who here may have a problem going to sleep early? Who here may actually be tired in the afternoon and then nighttime hits and suddenly they're like ping and they're like, oh, maybe I drank too much coffee. Maybe I did too much of this. Some people are inadvertently addicted to the dopamine hit of being tired. So we get quite a drench of dopamine when we're tired. Quite a drench. Not enough to compensate for the cognitive impairment that causes, but enough for our bodies to go into this repetitive loop of requiring it and looking for it. So a good question to ask yourself, thanks, Georgie, a good question to ask yourself is, could it be that I'm doing this to get a dopamine hit? And so you could be considering, what could you do instead? So what could you do in the afternoon or the evening to give your body the hit that it's actually in this really awful habit of requiring? Dopamine basically keeps us focused, productive, and motivated. So apart from being the ultimate motivator, it also has many benefits. And so Hilton's previous session was ticking over for me in this. It helps you lose weight. So when you've got a good dose of dopamine in your body, it helps you lose weight. It makes you feel more alive. It improves your memory and it stops self-destructive behavior. All right, so we can definitely be assisted in our diet, and there's a lot of stuff on the internet about what foods to eat, like almonds, avocados, bananas, nuts, things like that. Being in the sun increases your body's number of dopamine receptors. Listening to music increases dopamine. Dre, a good joke does the same thing. This is why we repeat jokes over and over, because we feel good in the moment and it gives us a dopamine hit, and then we feel more motivated, right? Interestingly, doing new things increases dopamine as well. Obviously, the unresourceful things are things like poker machines, Candy Crush, Netflix, one more episode, Facebook, likes, comments, things like that. So you might like to think about, how do you think you currently get your dopamine hit? What do you do consistently on repeat to get that hit? So dopamine is that one more hit type thing. So have a think about that. Pop it in the chat screen or comment section if that's what it is. What you currently do right now to get that dopamine hit. Now, the second one is endorphins. Endorphins are the chemicals that produce mood boosters to relieve pain. They are amazing. Now, think about the word endorphin. It sits in the same word as the word morphine. Like, you know, you can just logically pull that together. So endorphins block pain. They're the body's natural painkillers. Why do we have them? We have them because in the olden days, thousands of years ago, when our ancestors are running away from predators, the body would hit pain, like our muscles would absolutely lose all oxygen, and the pain would be too much normally and would probably stop someone. So our brain releases endorphins, we push through the pain, we actually don't feel it. Who here has ever hurt themselves and then the pain has turned up like 10 minutes later? You're like, oh my God, I didn't know I hurt myself. It happens when we burn ourselves. I did this just the other day. I accidentally burnt myself on the oven door and I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. Literally 10 minutes later, it's like, ooh, that hurts, right? So ways to increase endorphins, 2 particular ways: exercise rigorously. So anaerobic exercise, really, really good for the endorphins. Interesting one, spicy food. Yeah, spicy food. So the receptors on our tongues, they react to the spice and send signals to our brain similar to pain signals. So, you know, if you've got a headache or an ache and pain, you know, have like a 3 chili hot like curry of some sort. Now, we all know endorphins are released by sex. Like, you know, it's a good one. It's an obvious one. And they're released during times of injury. Okay, we get endorphins from dark chocolate. It's one of my favorite ones. So you could consider acupuncture would be a great way to release endorphins and get great benefit, right? Deep laughter. Deep laughter, interestingly, releases endorphins. So I'm sure you're all seeing a pattern here. So why does deep laughter release endorphins? Because when you laugh so hard and deep belly laughs, your jaw gets sore, your face hurts, your stomach muscles like are all tight and you're nearly crying. Yeah, it's a great hit of endorphins. And so you might like to pop in the comment section how you would like to get more endorphins, or if you're lucky, perhaps you're a sex and dark chocolate kind of person and that's what you like to do, right? Like there's a reason they call it afternoon delight. The next one is oxytocin. Now, oxytocin, it's like one of my favorites. It's the feeling you get when you're blissfully in love, right? When everything seems beautiful and larger than life. Or it's that blissful feeling you get after spending quality time with someone, with your friends or your partner, your kids, or someone you care about, and you've spent hours having incredible conversations and you just feel like the world is right. Oxytocin is the hormone that connects a mother to her newborn baby. It's also the hormone that increases for you to feel trust. Really super important, right? It's called the love drug. Most of us know that. It's the missing link actually in balancing runaway cortisol. So super interesting fact, I think, about oxytocin. If your body has a good, decent level of oxytocin in it, it's very difficult for your body to produce cortisol. So it's kind of like, you know, if you've got a veil of oxytocin, the cortisol can't get produced and it can't come out. And so really interesting. If you have high levels of cortisol normally, or you work in a job that's high stress, or you're running around and you're super busy all the time, one of the ways that you can reduce the effect on your body, because cortisol is awful for the gut, like it does really horrible things, is you could maybe hold a loved one's hand, go in for an extra long hug, kiss a loved one, hug a pet. If you don't have a human, hug a pet, right? Hug a favorite pet. It's awesome. So really, really important to know how to control our emotions, right? So our emotions come also from our moods and from the hormones that we release in our brain. So oxytocin, we get it also from friendships, stories of great friendships, deep conversations, stories of deep trust. Interesting. Pop in the chat screen or the comment screen right now how you currently have your need for oxytocin filled, or how you currently release this drug from your brain. And if you're thinking like, geez, I could do with some more of that, take some notes on the sorts of things that you can introduce into your life so that you do that. You know, if you've got a big decision coming up and you know that there's a hard choice you need to make, or there's, you know, it's a tough thing that's coming up, the research says hold hands with someone you love. It releases oxytocin. Oxytocin makes you feel like the world is good. And you're going to answer that question or that problem from a much more balanced place. So, you know, you could do that. Yeah. Thanks, Jules. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter. This is the fourth hormone that we'll focus on, and its biological function is quite complex. Apart from the fact that it supports our moods and cognitive function and our reward center in our brain, it also does and looks after physiological processes like vomiting, just as a, you know, random fact for you, like vomiting. But most people associate serotonin with mood, okay? The higher levels of serotonin in your body that you can help create and bring into your world or your daily activities is super important. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Serotonin results in happiness. Serotonin, happiness. Low serotonin, depression. Like, we can consciously choose to have more opportunities to feel happy, right? So you can see now the importance of these chemicals in our bodies. Serotonin, a couple of ways that you can consciously choose to release serotonin, increasing the alpha brainwaves, like closed eye meditation. Closed eye meditation, it's actually thought that the alpha activity at about, I think it's 10 hertz, the alpha activity at 10 hertz frequency is the optimal frequency for stimulating serotonin production. And so, you know, like if you've never done meditation or it's something that you're curious about, this is a great reason to bring it into your world. Practice it daily. Set yourself an experiment. Do it every day for 8 weeks and journal and monitor your moods. Like, how do they actually begin to flow? So serotonin is also supported by our diet. It's directly related to our gut. When we eat like mashed potatoes and carbs, we feel amazing, don't we? Yeah, serotonin. So the sun is excellent as well. The sun is excellent for serotonin. It also obviously has an unlimited source of vitamin D, which I'm pretty sure Hilton talked about as well. Happy memories, really interesting. Happy memories produces serotonin. It's subtle and it's very, very effective. It's very, very effective. So if you have a memory of an accomplishment, recognition, love, pride, things like that, you're actually going to create yourself this little waterfall effect of serotonin, and your day just may end up quite happy. And so my thoughts to you and my suggestions and recommendations, if you choose to take it on, is to think about doing some journaling. And the journaling could be just writing out and reconnecting with, you know, what do I take pride in? What makes me feel proud? What memories stand out that remind me of feeling really rewarded and recognized? And then you might like to write out 1 or 2 incredibly happy memories and reconnect with them every morning. Close your eyes, just close your eyes, play some gentle, low frequency music and reconnect with these memories of pride and joy and happiness and love. And you know what you're really going to be doing? You're going to be filling your body full of the most incredible natural producing happy drugs that ensure that you have more focus, you have more motivation, you feel happier about people, you connect with people, you start listening more deeply, you start sharing more effectively. And you know, like, what's our key takeaways from something like this? It could be like I started at the beginning of the session. Get up, do some exercise. Tick a list of exercise, release some dopamine, release some endorphins, do some meditation, close your eyes, go into gratitude, drop into your heart, think about happy memories. And what are you really doing? You're just starting your day on your terms. How amazing would your day be if you did this every single day for a whole year? Imagine all of those goals, imagine all of those relationships, imagine all the things that you wanted to accomplish. How much more likely are you to do that if you're starting full of serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin? And so that's what I'm leaving you with, just to think about that, to really tap into what could be possible for you. How would you show up for your family and your loved ones if this is what's roaring through your body naturally? Just so happy. Like, people say to me, are you really this high energy and happy all the time? Yeah, I am. Because every day I wake up and I decide that this is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to feel and this is how I'm going to live. It's always a choice. So yeah. Thank you, Dre. Where are you? He's left the room. There he is.
Mim, somebody call Michael Jordan, because that was a slam dunk. Thank you very much. Absolutely love that. My key takeaway. So I was thinking, all right, I need to have more sex. Need to eat some dark chocolate
And have some spicy food.
Spicy food, yeah. Acupuncture.
Massage too. Massage, dopamine massage. Like, oh my God, right? Yeah. You just went into that happy memory. I saw that, and look how happy you are.
I love it. I love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got any questions, now is your time. Put them in the chat screen. Brett was saying that was so good.
Thank you, Brett. And while we're at it, while we're actually waiting for any questions that come through, what we're here for, right, in the fundraising aspect of it, when we give, we release dopamine and serotonin as well. Like, because we're giving, we're tapping into that like heart space thing. And so it's awesome.
All right. So question for you would be common challenges that you see with your clients when your clients come to you, because you help women in business, like starting their business.
I'm a mindset coach for female coaches. So yes, I help them with their business, as in their focus and their motivation. And that's probably about 20%. And then the other 80% is how do they ensure that they wake up every day feeling like their clients want them to help them with, kind of thing.
Oh, I love that.
And so that's what we work on. You know, we work on the inner world. We work on the inner world. We get our inner world right, now outer world just falls into place.
When is your next challenge or workshop?
Literally, I'm halfway through right now.
Oh, yeah?
Awesome ladies who are watching, yes, halfway through right now. So it's the end of August. I've got a boot camp on, actually, the 12th and the 13th of August, and we'll be doing a lot of identity and mindset work there. And so I do have 5 guest spots. But yeah, the best way to find me is via Facebook and LinkedIn. So they're the 2 platforms that I do frequent. And otherwise, yeah, like I do have a website. Every now and again, I remember to have a look at it.
I love that. Right, we've got a question from Jules. Is there a specific time frame that we are meant?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Before we get the dopamine hit.
Yeah. And so, Jules, that's such a great question. The time frame is you go in for the hug and then you feel like releasing the hug, like it's an appropriate time. And at that moment, you consciously stay and you just hug and you'll feel it. So there's no clock that you can watch. It's a feeling. You will just hear the other person may just actually have a longer breath, or you may just notice, that your body relaxes a little bit. And that's when you've got your hit, right? And so it's a feeling. You notice, like, listen, have some sensory acuity, listen to their sounds. Are they like breathing a little bit more deeply? And I'm literally tapping into a memory half an hour before this session. My son gave me a hug and I was thinking about this, so I hugged him for longer. And literally, it was probably 3 or 4 seconds longer than you would normally. And he just went, and I went, yeah, there it is. Like, mother job done, right? High five, happy days. Like, yeah.
I love that. I love that. That's so cool. All right. Mim, is there any final words, like any dad jokes, any quite motivational, anything inspirational that you'd like to?
I didn't come up with a joke. Oh my God, I didn't think of a joke. No, I don't. Final words is for everybody, for those listening, just remember that you can do it. Like, it's just little chunks of information, little steps, small steps at a time. We get dopamine because we do small steps at a time. If we go for something too big, we're going to miss the opportunity of all of the natural things that can occur in the process. And so whatever it is that's in your way or not in your way, just create some new opportunities to release these hormones from your brain, and you will be rewarded for it because you'll just feel phenomenal.
Mim, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say a massive thank you to you for your time today, for donating, for the time that you spent with me over the last week or so as well. That's it's huge, like life-changing. So appreciate you so much. So much love for you.
You're so welcome. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone. Have a gorgeous time.
All right. See you, Mim. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so Melinda Warnecke. All right, thank you so much. All right, next up we've got Alessandro. Love this guy. When I done something similar to this was in October last year, and I think the goal was to do 120, 130 podcasts in 24 hours. And man, I was missing probably like 50 or 60 people. And Alessandro, I don't know where he got all these coaches from, just out of nowhere. It literally sent me about 20, 30 people. And it got so much that I started to get overwhelmed. He'd like send me a message, just like, I've got another person for you. I've got another person for you. My phone was just going off all the time. And mate, if it wasn't for you, that event wouldn't have been such a success as it was. And yeah, it was awesome. Love his energy, love his vibe. I can see he was like dancing ready. So thinking on purpose, Alessandro Gavello. Hey, legend. How
Ladies
are you?
and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Hi.
You crack me
Now,
up, you crack me up.
you did mention that we don't have much time today, that we need to be very punctual.
Oh,
So that is
okay.
very important that it's we don't want to speak for too long. It's just a matter of just half an hour. So I was thinking to just make sure that I want to reassure you. So I'll be synthetic. I will speak acrylic.
All right, I am going to leave you to it. But yeah, man, I'm just so like happy that you could be here to share like your value and thinking on purpose.
Well, I just wanted to work ahead of time, with the dad joke. Just make sure that. Oh, ciao Alessandro, Paul, ciao Paul. Look at that.
Yeah.
And Melinda, oh my God, she was rocking hard. That was excellent. I love that, what she was saying, and all this. That's amazing. Good stuff. You managed to invite, so many amazing people. Good job, right? Well done. So, ladies and gentlemen, thinking with purpose. You see, that's. Have you ever noticed how much our beliefs make a big? Melinda was amazing. Make a big difference. Our beliefs make a huge difference in anything that we do, whatever we do. Based on what you believe and how you believe about that, oh my God, that's a huge difference. Our beliefs are a huge filter. You see, and one of my beliefs is that we were born with a brain, we were born with a body. It's kind of like we are souls just experiencing something, experiencing an experience. And we experience this through our body, through our soul, but our brain. But the fact is this, that we didn't receive a manual on how to use our body, how to use our brain. They didn't provide, we were born and say, well, good luck with that. Okay, great. What do I do with this now? What can I do with this? What's possible? That's one of the best questions. Is once you start to really get into this and you start to ask yourself very good questions, all of a sudden you may start to wonder, oh, I can do all this. What else? That's when you know that you're doing something that it's really worth it. What else is possible? What else can I do? You see, the idea of thinking with purpose, it's something that comes from Richard Bandler. He's the co-inventor of neuro-linguistic programming. I had the opportunity to study with him. And this had been something very important. It really gave me a very, very important, very good direction in most of the things that I'm doing and how I'm doing them. And he loves to, oh, thank you, Brett. He loves to really define himself like an expert in edutainment, education and entertainment. And I really love that. I really love that. It is something that allows people to really learn. The best way to learn is when you have fun, when you're enjoying yourself, and when you manage to really get into whatever you're doing. How is it that, you know, you have this teacher that maybe you remember the most, hopefully in a good way, because it was making whatever it was explaining, it was making it great, fantastic. You were really enjoying. And that's what, you know, I was really following what Melinda was saying. That was great about, you know, serotonin. You know, by the way, life hack that I just want to give you just out of the, you know, of the blue. I don't know if you know it, but our facial expression, you know, especially the connection, the nerval connection of the muscles that we use to lift the corners of our mouth, they are connected on a cerebral cortex level, close to the part that stimulates the release of serotonin. By lifting the corners, you're already doing that. You are already releasing serotonin. So in case you're not used to smile yet, just grab a pencil, just grab a pen and place it in between your teeth. And you are going, ninja hack for you. And you are going, and you're going to have the serotonin going on already. So, ladies and gentlemen, thinking on purpose, let's put it like that. We have the opportunity to have a very good life or a shitty life, and it's not depending necessarily on the events that we are living, but how we are living them. That's the big difference. So instead of thinking about, oh, we have problems, we have issues, how about we just think in terms of events? There are events happening without putting a label. And once you have an event, you know, all of a sudden you say, okay, what am I noticing at this event? Think about this. You go to a party and imagine to place a camera in the party. You can't stay. So you just want to say, I'm sorry, you invited me to come to your party. I can't stay. I'll just leave the camera here, you know, and I'll just point it towards a specific place, whatever it is. Now imagine that the camera is capturing part of what is happening there. Imagine that for some reasons you are pointing it towards a part of the party where there are maybe a couple of tables, and the people sitting there are arguing all the freaking time. They will just waste their time arguing, just having a bad time, you know, just getting really into each other in a bad way. You go back, you grab the camera and you say, oh, let's see what happened at the party. And you have a look and you say, you know, the camera was focused on that. You look at that and say, wow, what a crappy party. Thank God I didn't stay. That would have been horrible. What a shit show. I don't know if I can say shit show, but now I said it twice. So, what are you going to do about it? Oh, I'm not going to come next time. They're going to invite me. I'll just say, oh, look, I'm busy. I can't do it. Sorry, really. I would like, really, no, not really. I'm not coming. So, imagine that you're pointing the camera, same party. You point the camera towards another part of the room, another part of the party, different table, different people. They are doing other stuff differently. Maybe they are having fun. Maybe a person stands up and because they're having so much fun, starts to tell jokes, and they are very good, decent. It doesn't matter, because the people that are there that you're filming in that very moment, that the camera is filming, they're just having so much of a great time. And then eventually they start to dance and everybody's happy. You go back to the party, you grab the camera, you look at that, and you start to have what? You give a different meaning. You give a different meaning. You say, oh my God, this party was amazing. Oh my God, this was beautiful. Next time you go to the organizer, next time you need to really let me know in time, because I really want to be here next time. I want to do it. This is great. This is the best party ever. How often we are focusing our attention on whatever is the event. Keep in mind that the amount of information that is surrounding us is huge. Now, I never counted it. Somebody maybe did. I have no idea. But a few times I got people telling me that we have between 9 to 11 millions of bits of information actually bombarding us every second. Now, out of these, they are just too many. We just can't really do much with that. It's just too many for us. 11 millions. Again, I didn't count them. Now, out of 11 millions, we have roughly 130 bits of information that are actually somehow passing, and we need to choose which ones we really want to give more importance. So would it be possible that maybe we are just selecting the wrong ones if we think that all our life is just a big problem? How often you go to see a movie with another person and you have the same movie and you have two different experiences? That's something that can happen. That because you focus on an aspect and the other person is focusing on something else. Two people having a similar experience. And then a person is coming out in a certain way, another person is using it differently as an opportunity to grow, to know more, to make a difference in his own life and in the lives of the people close to him, and even more than that. So when we actually want to use our brain with a purpose, it means that we are aware of the fact that we are the one thinking. It's not just that happens. We think, we do the action of thinking. Thinking is an action. People talk about success. Success is something that happened after you made something happen. People are thinking about, our brain is a prediction machine. It's going to just predict what's going to happen eventually based on what? On the experience that we had so far, in what's happening with us now, and what's going to happen in the next future. What does it mean? It means that if something is very important for us, we are going to be able to dedicate time and energy to actually achieve what we want to achieve. If we don't consider that so important, we don't. Our brain is not designed to make us really, to give us results. Our brain is designed to move in directions. Imagine this. Imagine you wanted to move a car. Imagine that you are going to try to move the car by pushing, by pulling, by lifting. Well, good on you. If you are that strong, go for it. I prefer generally get into the car with the key, start the engine, and use the steering wheel. And that's the same thing that you can do with your own brain. Is this very simple? When you actually give a direction to your brain, you give a direction to your life. And that's something that is going to make a big, big difference. If you just think about, yes, I want this, I want that, why am I not getting it? It's not going to help. People come to me and say, I'm not having these results. Okay, cool. Show me your habits. What are you doing every day? How are you thinking? How are you living? What is it that is making the difference that is going to allow you to get the results that you want? You see, another ninja hack. That's another ninja hack. People think that giving directions to the brain can be very complicated and very difficult. It's actually quite simple when you know what to do and how to do it. Want to know it? I'll tell you. Yes, ninjas. The simplest way to direct your brain into thinking in a certain way is by asking you questions. That's the beauty of it. Our brain cannot not answer a question. So use these wisely. Let's imagine. Imagine waking up in the morning and the first question that you ask yourself is, how shitty is going to be today? Your brain is going to actually say, oh my God, that's what he wants. He's moving me towards that. So I'll just going to highlight all the different reasons so that he can justify the fact that this is going to be a shitty day. Yes. So, well, better would it be, for example, to ask yourself another question. How can I be happier today than yesterday? And your brain is going to highlight all the different bits and pieces that would allow you to be happier today than yesterday. And it's not just about being happier. Hey, it's quite cool, by the way. When you can learn to be happy for no reasons at all, you're on the way to actually have a very good life. It's not just about that. You see, that's the moment where you want to oh, if this is possible, what else can I do? I'm telling you. Right now. Imagine this. How can I learn these faster than yesterday? How can I improve? How can I be better today than yesterday? How can I make these simpler than what I used to do so far? There is a system, I think it's called in English is RAS. It's the reticular activating system. It's a small part in our brain. It's here. Has a very important. Now, I'm just saying this because I want to make sure that anybody's listening doesn't think that it's some kind of coming and new age kind of shit. It's actually something that we already have. It's actually a part in our brain, our RAS, reticular activating system. That's the part, very important, that is deciding which information they need to get into the conscious part of our brain. What passes and what doesn't pass. And when you know how to hack that, you can make a huge difference. You see, so that you can start to notice aspects in your everyday life that can help you instead of hindering you. Have you ever had the moment where you want to change car, and when you decided, oh my God, I really want this model of car and eventually want this color, all of a sudden you start seeing this model of cars every freaking where. So what the heck happened? Everybody decided to buy this car. Nobody had it before. When I was 4 or 3, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I remember that I was playing. I was playing soccer with my dad, with a few friends. I was in the mountains in Italy, and all of a sudden the ball ends up in the tall grass. It was there, and there was some kind of a bar, kind of like a cottage thing. It's very rustic, very nice, and there were people sitting there. So all of a sudden there is this lady, this young girl, and she was pregnant. I didn't know what pregnant was, and I remember I went there. I couldn't find my ball. I went there and I asked the lady, you imagine a 3-4 years old say, I'm sorry, did you see my ball? She says, no, I didn't. I see, I was a little bit suspicious because I could see that there was something round underneath the dress. And, being pregnant and I don't know how many months, but, maybe close to the date, I say, are you sure? Aren't you pulling my leg? Aren't you hiding my ball underneath your dress? and she starts laughing. That was beautiful. She starts laughing, and that was something unbelievable. I still wasn't convinced, because she's really, making fun of me. And she starts to explain, no, look, it's not a ball. It's actually, there is a little baby in here that is going to, is going to be born pretty soon. And I said, okay. And from that moment on, my world started to be filled up with pregnant women. Where the fuck were they before? Oh my God, all of a sudden they were everywhere. Imagine training your brain to think on purpose and with purpose, so that you start to notice what can make the biggest difference for you in your life. What is it that you can notice now that can make the biggest difference in your life, in living better, in being happier, in finding solutions? Richard Bandler says something like, the biggest limitation is not about what we can do or what we can't do yet. The biggest limitation is about what we never thought of doing, or what we didn't think about doing yet. And that is a very, very, very big truth, at least for me. If if you're aware of it and you think you can do it or can't, this can still be a limitation. But the biggest one of all is what you never thought of doing. And maybe you never thought of finding a better way to do something that you don't and you can't do. That's the thing. So, giving yourself the opportunity to learning about the difference between thinking and remembering, that's something else that can be key, that will allow yourself to really, really be more present and make the most out of what we got in here. Too many people. I used to help people with chronic pain, and I had chronic pain for so many years. I forgot the amount of years. I think at least 7, if not more, but I think it was more, but it just sounds too much. It was another life, another time. And I still remember the struggle. The struggle is unbelievable, because your experience has been pain for so long that for you it's normal to just be in that situation. And then your brain is a prediction machine. This means, so if you had pain for so long, you're in pain now, this means you will still be in pain forever and ever. And this is huge. I was not thinking, I was remembering. Thinking means being in the present. Lots of people that suffer of chronic pain, at least that's the experience that I had with my clients. When I ask, okay, give me a number between 1 and 10 of the chronic pain that you're feeling now, not what you think you're feeling, what you're feeling now. And it was different from the number that they were giving me as, yeah, it's an 8, it's a 9. Okay, but what's the number of what you're feeling right now? Right now? Yes, right now. It's different. It's a 7. So it changes. That's a difference for that. That's for chronic pain, different thing. We don't have the time to get into that. Just remember that giving yourself the opportunity to think instead of remember is going to make a huge difference in whatever you're doing in your life. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That is kind of all. I have plenty to say, but if I start with something else, the risk is that I keep going on for another half an hour or more. People just say, shut up. Or it depends. More. Alessandro, give us more.
Yeah, mate, you are so
I'm having a
fun.
ball, man. I love this. It's just, I love it.
Yeah, that was absolute gold. Legends, if you guys and girls, incredible humans, have any questions for Alessandro, now is your time to speak up or forever hold your peace. And Alessandro, I'm trying to think because we caught up probably a couple of months ago now.
You are amazing, Alessandro. Paul, you are amazing too. Love that laugh. Yeah, I like it too. That's why I practice a lot.
All right.
Thank you, Paul.
What's coming up for you? Do you have any like workshops?
I'm doing a challenge in Italian, and I'm doing it in this week. So it's happening now. Practically, it's on its way to finish. And the next one in English, it's going to happen in August. I don't have a date yet. It will happen on August. So people can just reach me on my profile on Facebook. It's a good place where they can find me. If they want to have a laugh, producing serotonin, it's great. I love it. I love it.
All right.
So I already gave you a joke when we started. So
I know.
I'll give you another one. I'll give another one.
All right.
Son talking to his dad.
Yeah.
Dad, I watched a guy do 50 push-ups. Can you do that, Dad? Can you? And the dad replies, of course, not to brag, but I could probably watch someone do 100 push-ups.
Was that the joke? I can watch, yeah. All right. All right.
I didn't say it was a good one. I said I had one.
I know. I thought you were better than that. I'm just kidding. So I was going to say either one more or leave us with something like inspirational or something.
Something inspirational. Okay. I think that Oscar Wilde could give us something quite good. And this, I think it was him saying, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken.
Love that. That's gold. That's a better way to end. Alessandro, love you to bits, man. Like, thank you so much for coming on, like sharing and being part of this. This 3 days. It's awesome. And just everything that you do as well. So I appreciate you.
Well, of course, man. And good job in organizing all this. I mean, everybody's saying it, and and just make sure that that it's very important what we all do. So thank you for the opportunity.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. All right, you get out of here. We're gonna wrap. This is the third session today, so we are gonna wrap up and then move over to Chris Wilson. So this stream is shutting down, and we're going to be going into the evening stream.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye from me. Goodbye from Alessandro.